It's time. It is that time. Time for Stiles and Watkins.
You can join the show by texting 916-339-1140. Find us on YouTube at Sacktown Sports 1140.
It's time for Alan Stiles and Chris Watkins.
Yes. We have made it to Friday. Stiles and Watkins taking you up to 2 p.m. Nate Littlefield behind the glass for us today. And people aren't taking days off over here. That's what we do. We work hard. Sacktown Sports, we're building something, 1140. This is just what we do on a Friday, taking you up to the weekend. And we will be joined by Frankie, Cartoscelli, and Brenden, Nunes, our Sacktown Sports Kings insiders. That's at 11:30. Special edition of the Roundtable. Obviously, it's the off-season, so that means we can get a little spicy. Trade generator, hypotheticals, call in, ask the guys whatever you want, even outside of the Kings. Paul George, LeBron James, whoever, whatever is clever. By the way, Chris, before I throw it over to you, got some bad news that I have to share with everyone. And I want to thank you for all of the tips and tricks that you sent to me. I really do appreciate it. But unfortunately, we're going to have to postpone the fishing because I don't know what it is. I've complained about it on these airwaves before. But, I mean, the hit rate, you talk about prop talk, the hit rate on raining on Saturdays since the beginning of the year, the hit rate specifically on Saturdays, Chris, it's got to be, I'm not kidding, it's at about 70%.
It's insane.
I don't know what's going on. And then it's not raining on Sunday.
I have no idea what's going on. Like it's finally been warm, and I even looked at next week, and it's supposed to be beautiful. It's supposed to be 89 next week. I'm like, why is it randomly raining tomorrow? It makes absolutely no sense at all. Hopefully this is truly the last time it'll rain until the later months of the year. But yeah, I mean, I'm telling you, man, once this rain clears out, enjoy the weather for about.
You guys keep talking about it.
Weeks,
you know what? And maybe I don't know. Can somebody help me on this? I'm gonna have to go back to Big Five, and I don't know if it's whatever it is, whatever day you pick, that's not our fault. But I got a fishing license for the year.
Oh, okay.
My wife got a fishing license just for that day.
Right.
Are they going to refund her, or is it sucks to suck?
If I had to guess, it probably sucks to suck.
That's now really annoying me now.
Yeah.
Now I'm annoyed.
I could be wrong.
Can somebody help me with that?
I definitely have no idea, but if I had to assume, I would say that they would say like,
refund it now before. Like go take
today.
care of it before. Yeah.
That's probably the best course of action if you want.
Also, I'm kind of regretting it. I should have bought a year one because it's only $30 more.
No, exactly. It makes no sense. Once we didn't know how much it was.
It's expensive.
And when they rang it up, I literally said, not that it's the cashier's fault. I said, well, that makes no sense. We should have just got a year because now we're in a situation.
Right. If you go twice, it already pays itself off. Right?
Exactly. All right. Well,
that sucks.
Yeah, I know. It's unfortunate.
You were looking forward to it. You had people. Are people still coming and chilling?
No,
no.
I don't think so.
The whole weekend is pretty much ruined.
Yeah, because they're over an hour away, so it doesn't really make any sense. So the whole thing, is done for now. We have a date that we pushed to in early June, and it'll probably rain then. Everyone's telling me, "Oh, wow, it's going to be so hot. You can fry an egg," and
at that point,
just rains.
The river is just going to be gone.
Yeah, it's just going to be
completely
it's
evaporated.
Just going to be gone.
Is it the same spot you're going to early June?
Hopefully, I don't know.
Okay.
I don't know.
So
I don't know what's happening tomorrow at this point. I don't even know what's going to happen the next hour.
I know you don't talk to me off air, so I'm trying to figure out where you're going.
That's also true.
So.
That's also true. Well, nobody responds to my text messages because I'm a really annoying texter also because I'm very big at, I don't do paragraphs. I'm just rapid fire. So you're going to get about 10 texts from me that could have been consolidated into one decent paragraph. But that's who I am. But speaking of fish and flopping like a fish, I got to say this, Chris, as the Knicks cruise into the second round to take on your favorite player, Tyrese Halliburton, I got to say this about Jalen Brunson. He's crossed over now.
Why? For what?
He's crossed over into foul merchant. He's officially a foul merchant. I can't do that. The bumper cars was supposed to be removed from the game.
Yeah, I did see that clip going around. It wasn't great. It really wasn't great because, like, that is the Chris Paul.
He did it four times.
Yeah, that's exactly the move that they're supposed to take out. And I'm not a fan of it. I think it's kind of crazy. It's crafty, but in the playoffs, like, that's not supposed to be a foul.
How's it supposed to be called? At post rule, is it supposed to be an offensive foul?
I think it's supposed to be an offensive foul if the offensive player gets in front and then, like, jumps backwards, but Brunson wasn't necessarily doing that. He was more of, like, putting the brakes on without actually leaning back. So it really should just be a no call. It definitely shouldn't be a foul. I would say it shouldn't be a foul on the defender. The defender, I mean, there's not anything Nick Batum could. I think, the clip is Nick Batum guarding him. Like, there's not much he could do about it, because if somebody's going full speed and then just fully gets to a stop, I just kind of don't feel like that's the spirit of the rule. So I would agree that it was a little unethical, especially when everybody's complaining on the other side about Joel. Both things can be true.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Yes.
Joel is definitely almost in a separate class of his own, but it was not the most ethical basketball played the other day. But you know what? That's a series that's pretty much the definition of getting it from out the mud.
Yeah.
And, you got to do what you got to do in series like that, where Joel's stomping on people. Like, it was a really physical series. That was incredible. That was by far.
It was a great series.
That's been my favorite series by far. And I think the point differential was only Knicks by 1. To me, that was the best series by far. You had Joel hurt with one eye and dropping 50 bombs. And you got the Tyrese Maxey game and Brunson showing up every game. Your boy Josh Hart showed up big yesterday. Yeah, that was just a great series. And you had like the Warrior King dynamic in the crowd too, where it was like, again, yesterday when the Knicks went to that crazy run to start the game, it sounded like they were in the Garden. And then, as the game got closer and closer, it was just a really dope series.
Michael Rubin and his 2,000 tickets didn't do anything. that didn't do anything. I mean, I think it's pretty safe to say, Chris, as Kendrick Perkins was getting on Tobias Harris, who made $40 million. I mean, that was a hijack. But I think it's safe to say Tobias Harris will not be in Philadelphia. No. And look, say what you want about Harrison Barnes. At least he didn't finesse like that.
Sure.
Okay.
Yeah. Not that bad.
And we'll compare the stats as well. By the way, player breakdowns. We are doing centers today. Domantas Sabonis, also Alex Len, and we will maybe spend a little bit of time on JaVale McGee as well. Chris, I'm looking here. I think it's safe to say, and you can hop in if you think I'm wrong. Joe Giroux, former employee and current fan and friend of the show, he brought up Julius Randle. And I don't know what I think about Julius Randle as far as the Kings fit, but Julius Randle going into next season, he'll only be 30 years old. He's making $27 million, and he will have a player option going into the next season. So that man's getting traded. I'm pretty sure he's getting traded for one of the 1,000 big fish that the Knicks want. I don't know what his fit looks like with the Kings, and I don't really know what his value is. They're doing all this. How many times do you have to remember? Oh, wait. You know when I remember Julius Randle is on the Knicks?
When's that?
During the commercial with him and Jalen Brunson when they're in the ice bath. I don't remember. Oh, it's not in the rotation like the other ones.
Yeah, because all I have is
what a pro wants
and what a pro wants in my head. I mean, it's definitely something there for sure. I mean, the fact that they're seemingly playing. I mean, of course I would want Julius Randle out there, but they don't seem to be missing him all too much. I've never personally been a Julius Randle guy.
He's on your list of not a Chris guy.
Kind of like a big man version of D'Lo, where it's just like he's just really putting them up there, and I just don't think.
I think you hate lefties.
I don't think so. I actually like lefties. I think like they're kind of a cheat
You don't
code.
like D'Lo?
Everything that lefties do just looks so much smoother.
Yeah.
I'm envious, if anything. But I just think Julius Randle is a lot of empty calories, and he just has really bad shot IQ, which I'm just not a fan of. But I don't really know what his value is. You're right there. Like, I have no idea if anybody really views him like a second star. Like, if you have Julius Randle as your second best player,
that's not it.
He's worse than Domantas Sabonis, that's for sure.
Right.
So it's like I don't know where exactly he fits, and I think his contract is somewhere in the 30s.
Clearly not a fit for the Kings.
I wouldn't think so. Yeah. I wouldn't think so. He's not a good enough shooter, and yeah, he's kind of a little bit redundant with Sabonis. It's kind of like one or the like. Maybe if you trade off of Sabonis, like Randle would be a nice.
No.
Maybe you don't miss him as much, but I don't think them playing together would be great. But he'd be a great scorer. It's just I think the defensive end is kind of where he lacks.
Yeah, and at least Sabonis is a willing passer.
Yeah.
You know that Julius Randle wants to get his.
Yeah. There's also some attitude things
Yes,
that
that's
have been
where
a
I
little
was going.
strange.
Yeah.
Like
so,
I don't know if it's like, I think he's one of those guys that has like entered therapy recently and has tried to control anger management, but he's somebody who's gone off the rails a couple times.
I think he believes he's slightly better than he actually is.
Absolutely. That's where the D'Angelo Russell thing comes in, where it's just like sometimes he gets a little tunnel vision and like sometimes he cooks. Like sometimes Julius Randle will put up 35, 12, and 8 or something like that, and he'll be the best player on the floor. He's done it to the Kings, I think, a couple times actually, but he's also somebody who will, like you say, he will gladly go 5 of 17.
Yes,
absolutely, and
with
he'll
a smile on his face and a song in his heart.
Keep on shooting, and he's gonna say, "Hey, man, sometimes they go in, sometimes they don't."
Right. I'm a scorer. Scorers need to score. When we return, Patrick Beverley. I mean, talking about having a bad day.
This might be a bad.
You remember those Southwest commercials? Want to get away? That's Patrick Beverley. Not one bad situation, but 2 bad situations all in one day. But did he do it in the name of the pod and in the name of clout? Maybe. We'll talk about it. Stiles and Watkins, Sacktown Sports.
On the move? Got somewhere to be?
Take Sacramento Kings basketball with you. The Sacktown Sports app will let you stay connected to your passion. Never miss a moment of Sacramento Kings basketball with the Sacktown Sports app.
Hurry! Time's running out to shop spring savings at Lowe's. Don't miss your chance to spring into deals on the appliances you need. Right now, get up to 35% off select major appliances. Plus, save an extra $50 on every $500 you spend on select LG major appliances. Because Lowe's knows spring savings. Offers valid to 5/15. Selection varies by location. Appliance savings vary based on purchase amount. Exclusions apply. See Lowe's.com for details.
eBay Motors is here for the ride. 120,000 miles of night drives, daily commutes, and who knows how many.
Are we there yet?
Through countless fixes, elbow grease, and a new radiator, you kept your ride alive. With eBay Motors, you have over 122 million parts to keep it running. And with eBay Guaranteed Fit, they'll be the perfect fit every time. Plus, at these prices, well, we're burning rubber, not cash. Keep your ride or die alive at ebaymotors.com. Eligible items only. Exclusions apply.
Sacktown Sports. Call or text at 916-339-1140.
You know, so much talk about these beefs.
A lot more.
Sometimes it's just time to just get down on a banger. And that's Jack Harlow. By the way,
Jack.
A little later in the show, there is a nickname that I don't know who created it, but they're trying to sell this nickname for Ricky Pearsall, who already has a nickname.
Yeah.
That's what's bugging me.
Who's a different, I guess, rapper. Was Slick Rick a rapper? He was more of like a
hip-hop person.
Yeah. And
figure.
He got asked about it on a Bay Area radio station, and he did not like it. And basically, because he gets a lot of yards after catch, they're calling him, or they said, what did you think, or what do you think about the name Yak Harlow? And he didn't like it. He did not like it. He said,
I don't blame him.
It's somebody else's name.
That's nice.
I mean, to that point,
nice
you already have a nickname.
Yeah.
People just do too much.
Yak Harlow is terrible.
And you felt like let's
Why not?
We'll be careful here. You felt like
it's a little racially insensitive.
He doesn't look like Jack Harlow. So why go in that direction?
Right.
You said if it was Pajemski, who they both have the
curly
curls,
hair, the long curly hair.
That would make more sense, right? But Ricky Pearsall does not look like Jack Harlow.
No,
he looks like Chet Hanks.
Yes.
He does look like Chet Hanks. He already has a nickname.
Yeah, it's also that.
And he did not like it.
He didn't like it.
He said, why don't you guys just go by, he didn't say this, but essentially, hey guys, already got one.
Already got one. It's fine. It's good.
You know,
let's not get some backing behind that. Let's not. Yeah.
Let's not what next?
Haha, all
is there,
love.
Mini Edelman. Is it just gonna be every white
right.
rap or they what
right?
Rick and M, like Eminem? What do we do?
Nice.
I'm trying to think. I mean, yeah, I guess there's just not many white rappers.
What was it be R Peasy instead of G Easy?
Oh, that was okay.
Oh, for Ricky Pearsall? Okay, we're just thinking
off the top of your head, that's okay, but
it's a 4.
We'll work on it.
Yeah. I don't know.
It's a 3.
Yeah, it's bad. It's really bad.
Yeah, what else is bad? And we'll get in. We'll have some fun with that a little bit later. When you don't need a nickname,
how
when
about
you
he
already
gets a
have
nickname
one?
when he just come up with a nickname after he's been on the field for.
Remember when Durant said which one did he not like? Was it Slim Reaper or Durantula?
I think he didn't like Durantula.
What?
I think he
liked Durantula. Would have been a dope spider-looking logo.
Slim Reaper is like the coolest name ever.
I agree.
That is
he grew up. Kevin Durant grew up self-conscious. I remember this
clearly.
You remember? Everybody knows the story. He would pray to stop growing.
What?
Which is the opposite of the prayers that I used to have.
Yeah. Yeah.
Kevin, why don't we meet in the middle?
Apparently, he still has untapped potential too, according to the
right.
So he could keep growing.
Yeah,
actually,
growth spurt.
I looked it up. Kevin Durant did not like his Slim Reaper nickname.
It's the coolest name. It's the coolest.
But I'm telling you, I believe growing up, he was self-conscious about his body.
His body, yeah. He said,
"Are we all?"
The name is what it is. It's cool to have a nickname somebody else gave you. It's kind of weird if you make your own nickname, but you have it out there. I guess it's cool.
Huh? Yeah. No,
that
it
means
is
he
cool.
hates it.
Yeah, that exactly.
Tarantula sucks.
He said
it's
he didn't
clever, but it sucks.
He said that he didn't like the fact that it has to do with death. That's what
I agree with that.
He didn't like the nickname.
You're killing Hooper's dreams.
I'm here to shine a bright light. I'm not here to be a guy, I guess, death.
That must have been a long time ago.
Yeah.
It was.
Because Durant now, he probably would like it.
He probably would like it. Yeah.
It's the coolest name. So
it was in 2014 that he said that.
Yeah, he's a whole different person.
Yeah,
I mean,
that's 10 years ago. Literally 10 years ago.
It's like his 3rd year in the league.
Oh, yeah. And it says in 2020, he said he grew to embrace his nickname.
Yeah. He grew.
He said it wasn't time, but it's time now.
Lucky.
Yeah.
Wasn't time back
There's hope for you, Alan, if there's hope for Durant.
By the way, we're going to talk about a little bit of baseball when Frankie comes in the building. That's at 11:30 for the Kings roundtable. But in the offseason, we'll have a little bit more fun with the roundtable. These guys know sports, so we're going to have a lot of fun with that. I got to tell you guys, there is a new Zont King among us, okay? This man, all right, I believe Frankie said he was drafted. Oh, you're not going to guess this. This is from the Tacoma Rainiers. I have a new favorite player.
Okay.
Who is their affiliation?
Yeah.
They are with the Mariners.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, they're with the
Mariners.
Mariners.
That makes sense, Tacoma. Okay.
So you're with he's with the Mariners, and I remember watching him in college, but there are a lot of smaller guys that ball in college. This team, Chris, was tailor-made for me. They had at least 3 guys, and I'm not kidding, 3 guys 5'9" and below. And it gets better, Chris. You're not going to believe this.
It gets better.
It gets even better. No, it gets even better. It gets even better. Their 3-hitter, okay, Ryan Bliss.
Okay.
This kid
Great
went
name.
to this. I know.
Yeah.
I know. This kid was their 3-hitter, and he was shortstop. This kid's living my dream, Chris.
Emphasis
you know
on
what he was
short.
listed at, Chris? 5'6".
What?
It gets better. It gets better.
What's the opposite of Ellie De La Cruz?
That's what I'm saying. I know. I can't wait for him to be on second base.
Oh my God.
With Ellie De La Cruz.
Yeah.
Baseball, you can be anything.
It's the new Judge Altuve.
He was 5'6". Their 4-hitter was 5'9".
Okay.
So they were a very scrappy.
Is Isaiah Thomas out there too?
I'm telling you, I said, Frankie, these guys are living my dream. I said, if I get a foul ball,
send your tape.
I know. I said, if I get a foul ball, I'm just gonna hold my phone in one hand with my stats and hold the ball in the other. Say, take me. This kid, he goes 2 for 2. Right.
Okay.
He gets infield base hit. Yeah. Right. And he hits it to Luciano. Luciano's got to go to his right. He beats it out. I'm sold.
So he's gassing.
I'm sold.
Too.
And the River Cats, they were mowing people down. I mean, not a lot of guys were getting on base, not a lot of hard contact.
Yeah, it was
right?
4-0 yesterday.
The second at bat, Ryan Bliss goes up the middle. Okay, Chris, He goes up the middle, base hit. The next batter.
I don't think I've ever seen you so
the next batter,
so passionately speak.
The next batter, another Zont King. He fouls a ball behind the catcher.
Okay.
So the catcher is running towards the netting, right?
Yeah.
The catcher's running towards the netting. Chris, Ryan Bliss tagged up from first base.
Shut up.
And was safe at second.
Up.
I said, Frankie, I got to get this guy's autograph. Frankie, we have to go now. I put my chili cheese dog down. I said, Frankie, we have to go. Chris, he's my favorite player.
Oh my God!
I hope he makes it. He's in AAA.
Have you looked into him? Like, what
There's
has he been called up before?
I don't think so because they have JP Crawford on the Mariners. He'll probably move to second. Would be my guess when he does get to the show. But I got to buy that jersey.
He's at Zont Stop now.
He's at Zont Stop now.
Nice. Okay.
And he's balling. He's their 3-hitter. Their 3-hitter.
Yeah.
That's nuts.
Yeah. He's my favorite player.
How tall is a shortstop usually?
They're pretty big these days.
Okay, yeah, that's what I thought.
6'2".
Yeah.
They're pretty big these days.
So why they're going to move him to second just because of?
No, I just think that they have JP Crawford and a shortstop. You want more range, so they'll probably move him to second.
Interesting.
I'm telling you, Chris,
that's insane. I mean, the fact that he really got second off of a pop up behind the home plate.
It was insane.
Nuts.
It was crazy. Frankie said, "Did he just tag up?" I said,
"Yeah." Even the thought to do that is nuts. Like that, you have to know. I mean, he's cooking.
He flies.
That's
he
insane.
Flies, guys. I'm telling
Ryan
you,
Bliss.
Ryan Bliss.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And did we get any further on the whole reason you were there to get to the bottom of
so it was an outstanding day. We'll get into it a little bit later in the show, but all I got to say is this: there is an article that is coming out on Monday, written by your boy.
Oh.
And you are not going to want to miss this article.
Interesting.
All right?
Does it have to do with the team or is it with?
Basically, it's not about the Giants. It's about the A's. And it's about how realistic it actually would be for if Vegas falls through for Sutter Health Park to be the permanent home of the A's. I got numbers, some of the numbers we talked about yesterday. Yeah. I recrunched them. I got the attendance of other stadiums, things like that. Nice. So you're not going to want to miss that. That is coming out on Monday.
Interesting. Yeah, I can't wait. This is the first I'm hearing about it, so I can't wait to hear it.
There you go. All right, when we return, Patrick Beverley, he should be a Zont King, but what he did, we got to shun him from now. Not cool, Pat. Crazy. Not cool. Stiles Watkins, Sacktown Sports.
Subscribe to Sacktown Sports on YouTube and watch the Carmichael Dave Show with Jason Ross, Stiles and Watkins, and the Drive Guys. Live Monday through Friday from 6 to 6. Plus view archive shows and exclusive content.
Subscribe at youtube.com/Sacktown Sports.
Country in the Park is back May 17th and 18th at Cal Expo with Brantley Gilbert, Dustin Lynch, Jay Cohen, Walker Hayes, and more. Tickets start at just $46. Country in the Park May 17th and 18th at Cal Expo. For more information, visit CITPfest.com.
Brought to you by Kids Care Dental and Orthodontics, the Hot Tub Store, and Cattleman's.
Hi, it's Brian from Bennett's Restaurants. Springtime is a fun time, so to celebrate, we created a new menu of our favorites from Baja. Plenty of new food. Enjoy grilled skirt steak, wild prawns with pineapple, fresh sea bass, and Sonoran beef enchiladas, to mention a few. Try our empanadas stuffed with carnitas and cheese. Love shrimp? Try the new shrimp tostada. We make great guacamole and salsa too. Enjoy our newest dessert, Kylie's Churros, with a vanilla cream center. Visit Bennett'sRestaurants.com and come enjoy the new Baja menu today. Eat well, stay well.
Hey, it's Carmichael Dave from my good friends at American Energy. Now, I've told you this before, but this is what we call extending a good deal. Right now, American Energy Heat and Air is offering an HVAC diagnostic for $99. Oh, wait, I'm sorry. Never mind. They're offering it free. It's a $99 value, but you get it for $0. Let the American Energy team test your system connections and all the moving parts of that system to ensure that it's functioning properly. Now, this is a limited time offer. Call today to schedule your appointment at 916-520-9990. Speak to the company that has an A+ rating with the Better Business Bureau that's been making the greater Sacramento area proud since 1981. 916-520-9990 or AmericanEnergyAir.com. Tell them Carmichael Dave sent you.
Call 916-520-9990 now.
Sacramento sports fans, get ready to amp up your summer with the Sacktown Sports live events calendar. We've got an incredible lineup. First up on May 24th, don't miss Tribal Seas as they bring their reggae beats to Ace of Spades, presented by Live Nation. And mark your calendars for June 8th when NF takes the stage at the Golden One Center. Visit livenation.com for tickets. And don't miss out on the California State Fair summer lineup. On July 15th, experience Queen Nation, a tribute to Queen. Catch Flo Rida on July 23rd, Bush on July 24th, and the ultimate throwback with a 90s rewind show on July 29th, featuring Tone Loc, CNC Music Factory, and Digital Underground. Visit CalExpoStateFair.com for tickets and info. Looking ahead to August 4th, get ready for the Outlaw Music Festival at the Toyota Amphitheater, presented by Live Nation. It's a star-studded event. The Sacktown Sports Live Events Calendar, your ultimate playbook for the best shows and events in town. Stay tuned to Sacktown Sports for exclusive updates and your chance to win tickets.
Welcome to the May Springtime Sales Event at Kia of Vacaville. Are you ready for an exceptional automotive journey? We're excited to present to you the pinnacle of automotive excellence, the Kia Telluride. As May unfolds, come explore the remarkable features of the Kia Telluride. Beyond being just a vehicle, it embodies a lifestyle. With its seamless blend of sophistication and practicality, the Telluride is ready to elevate your driving experience to extraordinary heights. Whether you're embarking on a family getaway or navigating busy city streets, the Kia Telluride offers unparalleled comfort and innovation. Moreover, with Kia's unwavering commitment to safety and reliability, you can drive with absolute confidence wherever your adventures take you. Don't miss out on this opportunity. Experience the exceptional Kia Telluride firsthand. Visit us today at Kia of Vacaville and take advantage of exclusive offers during the May Springtime Sales Event. Your adventure awaits. Kia of Vacaville, where innovation meets excellence. Model availability, lease options, and features may vary. Please visit Kia of Vacaville for more details.
This segment is brought to you by Aztec Solar. Skip the sales pitch. Calculate your solar savings at yourpowersavings.com.
Live and local. This is Sacktown Sports.
On the Rivercat side of things, to Chris's point, I did see Luis Matos hit a laser of a double. And yeah, I talked to some people there and bring the kids up. Take them out of daycare. That's what I say. It's time to release them from daycare. Marco Luciano did have an error, but hey, maybe not Marco yet. And now I'm seeing Pavlovich on Giants Talk said that they're not even discussing bringing Marco Luciano up. It seems like Nick Ahmed is going to be the guy for the whole year, which isn't a great sign, Chris. I'm going to be honest with you. That's not a great sign. I spoke about my new favorite player, Ryan Bliss, before the break, but on the opposite side of things, you had Spencer Howard, who was drafted out of Cal Poly San Luis Obispo to the Phillies, made his way over to the Giants, and he was drafted in 2017. He was balling last night. He only pitched 4 innings, gave up 3 hits. 2 of them were one did get to the outfield, but 2 of them were ground ball hits to my guy, Ryan Bliss. He only gave up 3 hits and he gave up no runs, and he had 8 Ks in 4 innings.
Jeez,
he was cooking.
Come on.
Yeah, he was cooking. On the other side of things, here's a throwback name. Dallas Keuchel was the pitcher for the Tacoma Rainiers. He's still holding on strong. I asked Frankie, I said, is this a rehab stint? And Frankie said, no, he's just still, he signed a minor league deal. And
that's one of the beautiful things about baseball, I will say. If you want to keep the dream alive, like you can just continue to, like, because it's such a great lifestyle, as I'm sure you know, like to just be on the road all the time, chilling with the boys, especially as a pitcher, like every 5 days or 5 games, like that's a lot, I can understand why you would, if you can still do it and you're not in pain.
And I'm sure him getting a minor league deal is still decent money.
Yeah, right.
Compared to some of the other guys. Yeah. So shout out to the Rivercats. Frankie and I are trying to get there for at least 1 game per homestand to continue to follow the Rivercats and get a better feel for the A's, who will be calling Sutter Health Park home for at least the next 3 years. All right, let's get into Patrick Beverley and just a rough day from him. So first things first, Patrick Beverley gets into it, and he's responded on social media. Patrick Beverley gets into it, and there's no real need for audio on this part of it as far as the ball. So Patrick Beverley gets into it with a fan.
Yeah.
Patrick Beverley initially tosses the ball to a fan, but it had a little bit of mustard on it the first time.
Yeah.
It goes above, I think, the fan he was trying to hit. I believe it hit a woman.
It did, yeah.
And the woman gives the ball back to, I think, the guy who Patrick Beverley was actually getting into it with.
Yeah.
The guy tosses the ball back to Patrick Beverley. Patrick Beverley then hums a ball. He looked like Spencer Howard humming a ball back to the guy. At that point, the guy, I think, just throws it back, or I don't even know if it got back to Patrick Beverley. I think at that point, someone took it. I don't know who it was on the Bucks, but I think it was Jay Crowder.
It was Jay Crowder.
Jay Crowder pulls Patrick Beverley, says,
"What are you doing,
whoa,
brother?"
Man.
Yeah.
2 throws.
Yes.
Not one. And Patrick Beverley, since then, he's gone on to say, first he said, we tried to get these guys out of here. Mm-hmm. I don't know what was being said.
Actually, on that note, literally a minute ago, Shams Charania just told us what was said in that huddle. This just dropped at 10:32. This is from Shams Charania. Sources: the exchange between Patrick Beverley and one of the fans in Indianapolis escalated when the Bucks were breaking the huddle Thursday night, and the fan yelled, Alan, I can't wait to hear what you think about this. The fan yelled, Cancun on 3. NBA is looking into Beverley's exchange with the fan in game.
You can't get kicked out for that.
Per source.
Sorry, Pat.
I don't think so.
No,
I don't think
Pat,
you can. That's softer than Westbrook.
Well, you know where I was going with this. And the thing is, if there was any type of slur, Patrick Beverley isn't the only black dude on the team.
Sure.
So it would have either for Pat to get a pass here, it would have either had to have been that or somebody getting real specific with Patrick Beverley.
Sure.
Those were the only 2 options for any type of grace. Cancun on 3, Pat, you're about to get a nice fine.
You got to wear that. No, he's getting suspended.
Yeah.
He's getting suspended. You cannot interact with fans like that.
2 times. You're strike 1 and strike 2.
Because that's a lawsuit.
Yeah.
If that, you like
Chris,
you said,
you're right.
If
I'm that woman, I can't
concussion.
see. I can't
concussion.
see. Yeah.
I can't see. I can't go to work.
Oh, I'm cooking that.
What are we doing?
Yeah.
I can't. My vision. I haven't been able to see straight since.
I couldn't drive home.
Oh my gosh, the trauma.
No.
I don't know if I can sit courtside again.
I'm pretty sure. Look, they're sitting that close.
And, that the other dude that he lasered the ball at, finger.
Yeah.
Oh, I jammed my finger so bad,
and I have to type for work.
Oh my God.
So I had to take time.
I don't think
off
I can
work.
type the same again.
No, you're giving me
Ever.
2. I'm getting 2 milli.
Something.
Come off that 2 milli, Pat. Come off that 2 milli.
At least a pod appearance.
Sorry.
Something.
And you know what's going to happen now? It's the same thing we've read that people do with some of these celebrities that they know have hot heads because everybody's chasing a bag. This is going to get worse for Patrick Beverley. Fans are going to seek it out.
Well,
if he's outside
I was going to say,
I
don't know if there's going to be another opportunity. I
What do you
really
mean?
don't. He might be cooked.
What do you mean? What are you saying?
Yesterday was a very bad look for Patrick Beverley. I'm not 100%, especially if he gets suspended for a period of time to start the season next year. I'm not 100% certain Patrick Beverley is going to be on a roster starting next year.
You think it's that bad?
I think it's a really bad look. Because we haven't even gotten to the media portion of this. So not only did you have an incident with a fan, 2 fans, I guess.
Yeah.
You had an incident with media in a 40-minute span.
Yeah. Hold on. Let's get to Charles Barkley. Obviously, nobody knew what was said at this point.
Nope.
And now that we know, it's actually worse.
Yes.
But let's get to Charles Barkley and what he had to say, future free agent Charles Barkley, and what he had to say about the interaction.
Tonight, it appears, we don't know the circumstances, but it certainly appears he crossed the line.
Oh, he hit that lady in the head.
Throws a ball in the stands.
He hit that lady
back, and he fires it back.
Oh, he gone. He gonna get suspended.
Yeah,
he hit that lady in the head.
That'll be next.
Obviously, he was trying to hit that guy. It don't matter who he was trying to hit. Yeah. You can't hit no lady ever. Yeah. And then
you can't
did
throw
it
ball at a
twice.
fan.
I understand that, but you're like, listen, I've done stupid stuff, and and I got criticized. That's just wrong. He's gonna get suspended for that, and that's gonna be a good one too, because he didn't do it once; he did it twice.
Yeah, no doubt. Don't expect that from a 35-year-old, 12-year veteran.
I don't expect that from an 18-year-old. That's just stupid.
35. I know okay.
He's going to be 36 at the start of next year.
Somebody
turns 36 in July.
Yeah, somebody on the SAC chat, shout out to the SAC chat, as always, William Lamas is saying Beverley is 35. He's done. Now that you said that, this always reminds me of it's the same story we always see. And I'll never forget, one of the best documentaries I saw was about Randy Moss, and how Randy Moss said, when I was growing up, I wasn't necessarily making better decisions than my friends, but I just had immense talent.
Mm-hmm.
And it got to the point where, hey, don't do stuff like what we're doing. But Randy Moss had already messed up a couple times.
Yeah.
He kept getting more chances even during college because of his talent.
Yep.
Once it's the same conversation with Draymond Green.
Mm-hmm.
Once that scale, and I know Pat Bev had his crazy double-double a couple nights ago, but you're a backup point guard. You're supposed to, you lock up dudes. I get it. Is it worth this? And now all of a sudden you're buddy, you're partnered with Barstool. Right. How much do you care about the brand versus the rest of your NBA career?
It's cooked now.
I think you might be on to something.
Enjoy the pod.
It's not going to be that he's going to get kicked out of the league. It's going to be that he gets suspended, and who is going to bring him on.
Right.
Get ready to learn podcast.
Yeah, exactly. Get ready to speak podcast.
Get ready to speak pod.
Yeah.
He's already fluent in pod.
Because it might not be maybe his whole career isn't done. Like you said, it's a scale. If somebody has a need for him, they're going to sign him. Like, this is all going to be forgotten by that time anyway, and it'll be whatever. But he's not going to start on a roster. Like, why? Like, he might get picked up halfway through the year. It makes sense. He's a veteran. If he wants to stay in the league, he will. But there's no way anybody's going to sign him this offseason. Like, in a month or two, there's no way. I just can't see it. I mean, I think that this
and the thing is, he probably doesn't care. I don't know how much he cares.
Yeah.
The Pat Bev pod, he doesn't have to be playing for that to be successful.
I think he might.
Okay.
I think he might.
That's a good point.
I think it might. We haven't seen it yet, though. Like, that's the thing. Like, we haven't seen this, like that, what you're just laying out. We haven't seen a player have a pod. Well, I guess JJ Redick, but that's kind of different, I guess. Like, we haven't seen a player like have a podcast and then have it be popular while he's playing and then retire and see what happens to that.
And I'll be honest with you,
if anybody even cares.
The clips that I've seen, the thing is, Pat Bev believes he's the star. So I haven't seen very many clips of him having stars on. Maybe I haven't seen enough.
Yeah.
It's not like Paul George getting a bunch of dudes.
It's always him talking trash, right?
Whatever talking head, Barstool talking head, they paired up with him, and is Pat Bev talking trash. Exactly what you said.
Yeah.
So how much will people care about that if you ain't on the court no more?
Right.
People
don't even really listen to Kevin Garnett right now.
Yeah.
And he was a great. So it's like, how much are people really going to listen to Pat Bev just
on the from Amid Rock from the SAC chat? The podcast is relevant because he is relevant.
Yeah.
Once the fame goes, so does his relevance. Yeah. I mean, you might be onto something, but you can't do stuff like that. We still have to get into the other thing that Patrick Beverley did, and
probably
apparently
the worst thing.
It's not the first time. There are layers to this one as well. All right, Stiles and Watkins, Sacktown Sports.
What's the missing piece for the 49ers?
Which names will they add during free agency? Whether it's in season or off season, the coverage never stops. Get the latest 49ers news on Sacktown Sports at sacktownsports.com.
I didn't ask to be thrown in the streets with nowhere to go. I didn't think I'd survive. But I did ask for help, and Covenant House was there for me.
1 in 10 young adults will experience a form of homelessness this year. For these kids who didn't ask to be put in this unthinkable situation, Covenant House is there.
Covenant House helped me break the cycle of homelessness in my family. They gave me the love that I needed.
Over 2,000 young people will sleep safely in a Covenant House bed tonight. When youth who are experiencing homelessness have a hot meal, a safe place to sleep, medical care, and love, they can overcome heartbreaking challenges and have a brighter future.
They just really genuinely just wanted to help me succeed, and I'm succeeding. I'm a speaker, I'm an author. Covenant House really helped me and really helped mold me into the woman I am today.
If you or someone you love is asking for help, go to safeplacetosleep.org today.
Are you stressing about your IRS tax problems? Have you received notices from the IRS threatening to garnish your wages, levy your bank accounts, or seize your property? You need an ally. Allies Tax Relief has tax attorneys and enrolled agents that are ready to fight for you. They have saved millions for taxpayers just like you. Allies Tax Relief can help put a stop to IRS collections and, most importantly, negotiate your tax debt. Here's Brenda, a happy client of Allies Tax Relief.
I owed the IRS around $57,000, and they're about to start garnishing my paychecks. I heard a commercial on the radio about Allies Tax Relief, so I thought I'd give them a call. After a day, they were able to at least stop the garnishments, and after a few months of negotiations, I walked away owing the IRS only $301.
If you owe the IRS, call Allies Tax Relief right now for your free consultation. Call 800-230-5174. 800-230-5174. That's 800-230-5174.
$5,000. That's the average amount of money people in the U.S. are now spending on gas in a year. $5,000. That's crazy. If you drive, you have to download Upside, the free app that gives you cash back every time you get gas. That's right. You can earn real cash back with Upside just by buying the gas you're already buying. You can literally start earning cash back today.
I use Upside every time I fill up, and I've already made around $300.
You're putting gas in your car anyway. Why not get real cash back? If you like free money, download Upside.
I'm saving the cash I earn from using Upside to help pay for a vacation later this year.
Download the free Upside app now to earn cash back every time you buy gas. Use promo code HYBRID to get an extra 25 cents per gallon on your first tank. You can cash out anytime right to your bank, PayPal, or a gift card for Amazon and other brands. Just download the free Upside app and use promo code HYBRID for a 25 cents per gallon bonus on your first tank. That's code HYBRID for a 25 cents per gallon bonus.
Seems like all this artificial intelligence stuff stirs up the age-old debate of man versus machine. Hi, it's Dan from the Good Feet store, and let me ask you, would you let a robot cut your hair? Would you rely on an app to teach a kid to ride a two-wheeler? Let's face it, some things require the human touch. People come to us seeking a solution to foot, leg, and back pain after trying all kinds of things recommended by in-store machines or website blurbs. An impersonal, generic approach to solving a problem that's unique to you. No wonder they usually don't work. At the Good Feet store, you'll meet with an arch support specialist who will take the time to learn about your needs, your feet, your lifestyle, and then fit you from over 300 models and sizes of arch supports, designed for pain relief, better balance, and more comfort.
Do you have sore feet, an aching back, or plantar fasciitis? Then get to the Good Feet store nearest you for your free arch support fitting. Good Feet arch supports are only available at the Good Feet store.
Sacktown Sports.
Check us out on YouTube. Search Sacktown Sports and subscribe.
So after Patrick Beverley chucked the ball at a fan twice, he follows this up, and somebody from Milwaukee came out and said that this isn't the first time. But basically, Patrick Beverley has told, I feel like, Chris, it's only certain reporters, because he's not asking every single reporter. Why he's choosing to ask certain reporters this, I don't know. But last night, an ESPN reporter, I guess, asked him a question, and Patrick Beverley said, "You subscribe to my podcast?" And she said no. And Patrick Beverley refused to answer, and then continued to say, "Get that mic out of my face." Here's the audio, and then we have every Kings fan favorite player reacting to it. Here's Patrick Beverley.
Here. Excuse me, I'm sorry. Before I finish. You subscribe to my pod?
Do I subscribe to you? I do not.
So you can't interview me then. No
Okay,
disrespect.
well, Jamal is here.
You subscribe? Okay, cool.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Again, there were a couple times within a bucket or two. In previous games, y'all have been able to kind of get over that hump, or maybe. Was it anything they did in particular, or was it just one of those where the bucket didn't go down. There wasn't the stop. They made one. What kind of prevented that you all from being able to get over, kind of like you have in the past?
You move that mic, please, or just get out the circle, please, for me, please, ma'am. If you're not subscribed to my pod, I appreciate that. Thank you.
Insane.
Unreal.
Insane. Trailblazer.
And Nate is laughing. If you haven't seen the video, he's acting like the mic has a disease on it,
or like it's like an SNL skit where they just move the mic closer and closer to his face. But it's literally like it's where all the other mics are.
Yeah,
out of his sight completely.
Apparently, somebody from Milwaukee came out and said he's done this before.
Yeah,
I don't know who he chooses to say. I don't know if the man that was talking. I don't know if he asked the guy, hey, do you subscribe to my pod? And the guy said yes. I don't know.
I mean, in the beginning of the video, it seemed like that's what happened because she goes, hey, whatever, Jake is here, and he subscribed. And he goes, oh, okay, and looks at him. And
I didn't know if that's who was talking.
Okay, that's kind of what it seemed like.
Yeah,
but
yeah.
The microphone thing is funny. The woman reporter that he's mad at in the video puts the mic down and then has it near her waist and is pointing it in his direction,
yeah, right,
like subtly. And I was watching it, and
Melinda Adams is her name.
Yeah, you could see he notices that and goes, "Nope, get that out of there."
Yeah,
it's insane.
Get out of the circle. I mean, there's a bunch of mics there,
he's
so
like
there's no way.
He's chasing the mic.
It's definitely because, let's just call a spade a spade. Part of this is definitely because she is with ESPN.
Yes,
and now he's in the media. This is new media.
That's
now.
Right. He's Barstool
He's
too.
Barstool.
Like you said. There's a lot of
now
beef
all
there.
of a sudden it's, hey, can you? With the McAfee thing and
well,
all that.
They had a show on ESPN that ESPN ripped off after one episode.
Yeah,
and so there's real beef between the company Barstool and ESPN.
There's no way he is saying that to everyone. And then I'm re-looking at the end of the. She has to leave. She does actually leave. This is how bad it is for Patrick Beverley. When you have Draymond Green talking about a situation and Draymond is saying you've done too much,
you messed up.
That's when you know it is all bad. So here is Draymond Green talking about Patrick Beverley on Draymond's podcast.
Pat Bev threw a ball at a fan last night. Pat keep having these instances after they lose, like in these playoff games. That one might have been crazier than the CP push because it opens up an entirely different can of worms. Like, Adam's going to have a problem on his hands with this one because it's about as close as you can get to going in the stands. That is forbidden for us. Then Pat didn't follow it up very well because he followed it up with getting into it with the female reporter about not subscribing to his podcast.
You subscribe to my pod?
Do I subscribe to you? I do not.
So you can't interview me then.
I ain't never heard somebody say, if you ain't subscribed to my podcast, don't ask me a question. I actually try to take the complete opposite approach because I am very appreciative of the NBA supporting podcasts the way they do. Pat, you can't keep having these moments, man, at the end of these losses. You're starting to look like the kid that's going to grab the ball and say, I'm going home. This is, I can't play. We out of here. We leaving the park. It's my ball. Come on, Pat.
Yeah, that's bad.
It's a good point.
It's a great
really
point.
Good point. You can't play tough guy, and then when you lose, be the one who's crying the most.
This is, you know what, Chris? And real quick, I forgot about the CP push.
I completely
forgot about the CP push.
It was completely erased.
That was a bad one as well, and it was when the series was ending.
Yeah.
But I'll put it to you like this: what Patrick and I'm gonna get at Emmanuel Acho here. Because what Patrick Beverley did is basically what Emmanuel Acho was trying to say that Angel Reese did. Angel Reese, after she lost, talked about death threats and all the things that she battled off of the court. Emmanuel Acho tried to say you can't be Big Bad Wolf, and then after that, then he put out some fake apology.
Right.
But then after that, say, hey, I'm this, I'm that.
Right.
And we said, no, Emmanuel Acho, the season was over. She's talking about her life experience.
Yeah.
She's not saying she's not Big Bad Wolf on the court. That's off the court.
Yeah.
Emmanuel Acho needs to have that energy
now
for Patrick Beverley.
Yes.
Because that is the epitome.
Right. Yes.
That is what he's actually talking about, being Big Bad Wolf and then being the sorest of losers when things don't go your way. It was all good not even a week ago when Patrick Beverley had the double-double and he's talking all this trash, this, that, the third. Now all of a sudden that you lost, Now all of a sudden you're throwing balls at fans and getting at female reporters because they don't subscribe to your pod. That's bad.
It's crazy. It's crazy. Like it's an insane thing to do. Like I don't even understand what is his thought process here? Like why do you want them subscribing to your pod? Like
it's bizarre.
It's just I don't
He's
even
plugging
understand
the pod,
it.
I think. I don't know.
It's a really, really weird thing to blow up into this. Like it's so avoidable. And I mean, just the dude is, I'm telling you, like this is real. This is about as bad of a look as you can get. Again, when, like you said, if Draymond is telling you, brother, let me tell you, you messed up. This is ridiculous.
Yeah.
You stepped out of line. Like that's a real indication of just how bad this is. I feel like he's going to be suspended. I just think when you maybe, I think definitely the fan incident gets you suspended at least for a couple games. Mm-hmm. I think when you compound both of these things, I feel like he's going to be suspended for like 5 to 10 games. I think it'll probably be closer to 5, but I would be surprised if he's not suspended from this. And like I said, I wouldn't be surprised if this is also if he's not on a roster at training camp next year.
Just nobody wants to deal with it. And that's what's going to happen. These guys and it's not, he's not doing it because he's towards the end of his career. And we just talked about how Pat Bev, great story, to do what he did coming out of the EuroLeague, and none of that changes. But yeah, the league, and Draymond made a good point. Hey, they could put a sanction on some of this pod stuff whenever they feel like it. So we cannot sit here and be stupid about this. And I think that's what Draymond's alluding to, because it is the wild, wild west.
It's almost holding like reporters hostage. Like you can't and part of that is on Buck's PR too. Like you have to step in and say, Bev, like you can't do that. Like these people have jobs. Like you can't restrict access because they don't subscribe to your podcast. I mean, that sounds like if like it's one thing, it becomes a bit of a two-way street, like a more even conversation. If, hey, this reporter has been speaking crazy about me, I don't want, like, if he's just going to twist my words and use it for his benefit, then I'm not going to speak with him. That's a different conversation. But if you're just saying, you don't follow me on Twitter, you don't subscribe to my podcast, so I'm not going to talk to you, that's not a good enough reason to tell somebody they are restricted from doing their job. No, that's insane. And the NBA can't have that because it becomes a slippery slope if you're going to allow it. So I think that this is probably going to be bigger than just Pat Beverley, but the league's got to do something, because you can, like Draymond said, like you can't have people. This is about as close to entering the stands as you can get. And then if you're messing with the media side of things too, I just think those are two independent entities that the league does not want to frustrate to a certain, especially the fans, but the media side, we know how that goes. Sometimes that can be a bit of a complicated relationship, but you don't want to complicate those things. So they have to show some sort of authority here over Patrick Beverley.
on both,
because it's insane.
Yeah. When we return, continuing our Kings player breakdown, the double-double machine is up next. Oh, this is going to be a good one. Domantas Sabonis. We break down his season. We give him a grade. And we hear from you. 916-339-1140. Stiles Watkins, Sacktown Sports.
The NFL's leading rusher plays here.
And a handoff to McCaffrey, walks in the end zone. Handoff to McCaffrey, takes it right down to the goal line. He does his thing again. McCaffrey goes in motion right. Backwards pass led by Juszczyk. A block there. Hurdles a man. 10-5. Touchdown! CMC!
You can hear all of Christian McCaffrey's touchdowns on your home for 49ers football. Sacktown Sports.
Golf to Go is brought to you by the Hagen Oaks Golf Super Shop. Here's Frank LaRosa.
Since you probably can't afford your own sports psychologist, Golf Monthly's Fergus Bissett offers 5 golf psychology tips to help you play better. First, stay in the present. If your mind is ahead of you, how can you focus on the shot at hand? Second, every shot is a new challenge. The objective of every shot is to get the ball in the hole in the least amount of strokes. Go do it. 3, the past is the past. Many of us dwell on the past. Not good. Clear your mind and move on to the next shot. 4, never surrender. Some give up on their rounds too quickly. Your fortunes on the course can change with one swing or one decent break. Lastly, stay positive on the greens. If you're having one of those days where the putts don't drop, focus on the positives. If you're putting on your intended line, That's a good thing. Keep it up and they'll begin to fall. And remember, it's a game, so go out there and have some fun. That's your Golf to Go. I'm Frank LaRosa.
Hi, it's Brian from Bennett's Restaurants. Springtime is a fun time. So to celebrate, we created a new menu of our favorites from Baja. Plenty of new food. Enjoy grilled skirt steak, wild prawns with pineapple, fresh sea bass, and a shrimp tostada with piles of shrimp. Or maybe our fresh empanadas stuffed with carnitas and cheese are more your speed. Enjoy our newest dessert, Kylie's Churros, with a vanilla cream center. Visit Bennett'sRestaurants.com and come enjoy our new Baja menu today. Eat well, stay well.
Were you recently in a car accident? Don't let the insurance companies push you around. Turn to the experts at Gonzalez Law. Our team specializes in car accident cases, wrongful termination, and criminal defense, fighting tirelessly to get you the compensation and justice you deserve. With years of experience and a track record of success, we don't settle for less, and neither should you. Visit ZachLegalDefense.com or call 916-304-9187 for a free consultation. Gonzalez Law, your advocate in the fight for justice.
Country in the Park is back May 17th and 18th at Cal Expo with Brantley Gilbert, Dustin Lynch, Jay Cohen, Walker Hayes, and more. Tickets start at just $46. Country in the Park May 17th and 18th at Cal Expo. For more information, visit CITPFest.com.
Brought to you by Kids Care Dental and Orthodontics, the Hot Tub Store, and Cattleman's.
Across Sacramento, air conditioners are firing up, and with them, power bills are going through the roof. Are you ready for your utility bill to soar even higher next month? Since 1980, Aztec Solar has helped thousands of homeowners save money because going solar is like getting an extra paycheck every month. We call it the Aztec Paycheck. How big of a paycheck? Find out at yourpowersavings.com. Visit yourpowersavings.com and Aztec Solar will text you how much money you'll save every month. Find out how much you'll save now at yourpowersavings.com. It's fast, easy, and reliable. Stop paying the power company and start paying yourself. Looking for a deal? Here's a timely offer from Aztec Solar. You can own a solar electric system for just $99.95. Cash price after incentives. Don't waste another dollar. Visit yourpowersavings.com and keep your money where it belongs, in your pocket. Aztec Solar. Solar and only solar since 1980.
Welcome to the May Springtime Sales Event at Kia Vacaville, where we're celebrating the arrival of a new season with unbeatable lease options on our 2024 lineup. As May blossoms with possibilities, it's the perfect time to immerse yourself in the exhilarating world of Kia, highlighted by the luxurious and versatile Kia Telluride. Throughout the May Springtime Sales Event, Kia Vacaville is thrilled to showcase our top models with irresistible lease offers. Experience the thrill of driving the all-new Kia Sportage, seamlessly blending captivating design with dynamic performance. Dive into the impressive fuel efficiency of the Kia Niro, a hybrid marvel designed to extend your adventures. Embrace the essence of spring with our eco-friendly Kia hybrid options, specifically tailored for those who prioritize efficiency without compromising on style. With the EV9 in stock, Kia Vacaville stands as your premier destination for electric excitement. Model availability, lease options, and features may vary. Please visit Kia Vacaville for more details.
Guys, this month only, Revive Men's Health Sacramento offers qualified patients a free supply of ED medication, plus a free ED treatment producing immediate results. Book your free exam and consultation today. Call 916-365-4566 or visit ReviveMen'sHealth.com.
From the Power Business Technology Toshiba Studios.
Your home for Kings basketball for over 25 seasons.
No look, Bibby to Weber, down the lane, flying jam. There's your play of the night right there. It's inside is Sabonis, a two-hand rip, a brilliant pass from De'Aaron Fox.
KHTKAM Sacramento, KYMX HD2 Sacramento.
Sacktown Sports.
Alan Stiles is correct. He's 28 years old today. Happy birthday, Domas.
Happy birthday, Domas. And tell him what he gets for his birthday, Johnny. A Kings player breakdown.
That's right.
This will probably be, spoiler alert, this will probably be one of our easier breakdowns to have.
Yes, absolutely.
Or one of our better grades, at least.
I would think so. I would definitely think so. Let's start it off with just the season numbers and how much better or worse he was across the board. Spoiler alert, he was a lot better. 2023, he averaged 19.4 points per game. That's 0.3 points higher than the year previous. He led the NBA in rebounding for the second straight year this year with 13.7 rebounds. Again, he led the league in rebounds last year at, 12.5, I believe it was, 12.3 rebounds per game, and then upped it to 13.7, a 1.5 rebound difference, and again led the league. 8.2 assists per game, which is a career high. He shot 59.4% from the field, which is just 0.2% worse than it was last year. He did shoot really well from three this year. That was definitely the biggest development. Again, a career high on more than a single attempt. 37.9% from three. He had 91.5 touches per game, which was the second most in the NBA, only behind Nikola Jokic. He had 5.9 screen assists per game, 487 total. The next highest was Rudy Gobert at 362. So pretty much just absolutely dominated in the screen assist category, which is essentially a stat that is what it sounds like. If you set a screen for somebody and they score off of that screen, that is a screen assist. Domantas Sabonis, obviously, with the amount of dribble handoffs the Kings run, has led the league in that for 2 straight years, and again did it this year. He also led the league, as we know, in double doubles and tied for the league in triple doubles. And what was it, 70 straight double doubles that he had, or 72 double doubles that he had, which is a post NBA, it was some shot clock, something.
Right.
He had the most double doubles of anyone in a really, really long time. And that really tells the story of the season for Domantas Sabonis. Just an absolutely incredible year, and was just a workhorse. Just absolutely like your prototypical lunch pail guy. Just brought his lunch pail to work every single day, put in a shift, and you knew what you were going to get every single day out of Domantas Sabonis. What a season.
Yeah, you can't talk enough about the relentlessness of Domantas Sabonis and just how consistent he was this season, night in and night out. You could literally depend on him for every single game. I think it was it one game, Chris, where he was sick and he was questionable, and then he played through it. Yeah. And, just the ins and outs and the ups and downs of some of the guys in the lineup, you knew that you had Domantas Sabonis, and you need him, and it's almost to a fault. I mean, he's behind Nikola Jokic, and it's really that simple. I mean, if Jokic goes down for the Nuggets, right, they're done.
Yeah.
If you have Sabonis going down for the Kings, they're done.
Yeah,
it's that simple.
Yep. Real quick here, I just want to, Nate, do we have the breaking news sounder real quick? Do we have
when it breaks,
we have it first.
It's Sacktown Sports breaking news.
Yes, this is from who should we credit here? We'll do Shams. I think we're a Shams show. Do we like Shams or Woj more? Have we decided that?
I mean, I saw Shams in person.
That's true. We've seen Shams multiple times. We're a Shams show.
Yeah.
We're a Shams show. She's Shams.
He was in the building.
We saw Shams.
Multiple times at the Super Bowl?
No.
At Golden One.
Oh, really?
He was at Golden One for the Warriors-Kings game.
I'm just so jealous of Shams.
I think we did see him in Vegas. We saw him somewhere else, too. We've seen Shams multiple
No,
places.
you know who that was? That was, what's his name from ESPN that does the social media? Yeah.
Gotcha. Anyways, breaking news. The Los Angeles Lakers have parted ways with head coach Darvin Ham, and sources tell Shams Charania and Jovan Buha, friend of the show, that they will have an extensive coaching search that will commence soon. Mike Brown was not on the listed candidates. The candidates listed on the tweet are Mike Budenholzer, Kenny Atkinson, who is the Warriors assistant coach.
Say the name.
JJ Redick.
There it is.
And Ty Lue.
There it is.
Amongst others.
This is a two-man race.
Yes.
Between JJ Redick and Ty Lue.
That's right. Yeah, I would agree. I mean, Mike Budenholzer's been there, done that. Kenny Atkinson, really good coach, but I don't think he necessarily fits a LeBron-style team. He actually likes to have control.
Okay, let's talk about this realistically here.
Sorry, Sabonis. We'll
get back to Sabonis.
We will get there.
We got to make sure Mike Brown's safe.
That's right.
Shout out Greeny. Can you realistically still have the mind game pod? Are you punting the mind game pod if JJ becomes a coach? This is unprecedented now. Now we just finished talking about Patrick Beverley and the awkwardness there. You can't have a podcast with your head coach, can you?
I would think it's probably not a great idea because if things sour at any point, like that then carries over into the show, and that's probably not a great idea. I would imagine there's a lot of disagreements that happen throughout an 82-game season. Probably not a great idea. And it's just probably also not a great look to – I mean, I know it's still a player coach, but it definitely would probably feel like some favoritism going on. Not that already doesn't exist with LeBron, but it's probably just not the best look, I would imagine, to do a podcast with your coach. It's just not, just probably not something you should do.
I mean, maybe he goes back to Ty Lue, won a championship with Ty Lue, went to multiple finals with Ty Lue.
Could still do it. It's I guess it's fine. I was gonna say it might be weird regardless, because if JJ doesn't get the job, then it's like, oh, JJ's being critical of the Lakers sets here.
Right.
Like,
well, you know what?
Because he's salty.
Well, if LeBron can't even claim, hey, JJ, I don't make those decisions. Because we all know he does.
Exactly. Right.
So, hey, JJ, I vouch. Somebody says, hey, I've applied for this job, and they use you as a reference, and you say, hey, I tried. They just went in a different direction, or they already had somebody, and you feel like they tried, but it's a different department.
Yeah.
I did what I could. That's not LeBron can't say that.
No. Absolutely.
You are the department.
You are everything. You are the sun. There's no way. Yeah. I also, here's an interesting number here. This is from StatMuse, which always has the best numbers here. Not actually, but LeBron James, 6 head coaches fired. He has 4 championship rings. So he has more coaches fired throughout his tenure than championship.
What are you saying here?
It's just that it's really, really tough to coach LeBron. I just think it's really tough. Like it's in a weird way, it's because he is so great, but it's a really, really hard job.
Here's a weird, I guess, conversation. We were talking about elite coaches yesterday. And I don't know what is I guess the first question is, what is going to become available? Because I don't know how many coaches are going to get. It's not the same as, Black Monday in the NFL, where everybody gets fired.
Yeah, right.
This has already been happening. You get fired before the All-Star break. You just get fired whenever in the NBA. So if JJ becomes the coach, could in your opinion, and in a lot of people's opinion, an elite coach in Ty Lue be without a job next season?
I guess, right? Because I don't think Charlotte's the only other coach opening right now besides the Lakers. I wouldn't think any of the teams that are playing right now would possibly fire their coach.
Because Charlotte's still looking.
Ty Lue's not going to Charlotte.
Why would he?
Yeah, that makes no sense. He's not going to Charlotte. He wants to win.
And as far as the Clippers are concerned,
he can be an assistant somewhere, I guess, a high assistant, or he can ride it out for his lame duck year.
Well, yes. So he hasn't got an extension. He would be going into his last year next season. Mm-hmm. So he would just ride it out and then hope they figure it out, and then
I guess it's kind of his only option.
So he could opt out of his contract right now that the season's over?
I am not familiar with his contract. Yeah. I'm not sure, but I mean, you can definitely I believe you can talk to your team about getting out of your contract.
When it's in the last year.
I believe so. Yeah.
Because the whole thing is, and this is what we were talking about before the show, most of the time when a coach just never goes into their last year.
Yes. Usually if you're in your last year, it's a sign that you clearly, in your organization's eyes, haven't done well enough to say, oh yeah, like we're going to re-up on him. And if you're essentially saying it's a prove it season, a lot of the times, if you do prove it, you might say, well, you guys didn't really believe in me, so I'm going to go explore my options. Not saying I'm going to leave, but I'm going to explore my options because you allowed me to, or you just have a bad season and then you're fired.
And how does that connect back to the Kings?
Well, that's why it's such a big deal that Mike Brown could potentially be going into a lame duck season. I believe I don't know if it's next year or if it's the one after that. I can't remember. We read that article a couple weeks ago. You can go check it out. Amick and Mr. Anthony Slater put it together. But essentially, yeah, Mike Brown could be entering. I believe he has a 1-1 remaining on. Or
it's an opt-out on both.
I think that's what it was. It was a mutual opt-out.
Yes.
That's what it was. A mutual opt-out after next season. So, yeah, that's what's so concerning about Mike Brown possibly going into next season without a contract extension.
Interesting.
It sure is.
All right. Well, we knew it was going to happen. We reported it earlier in the week, and it's officially happened now. If you were to guess, before we get
Darvin
back
Ham
into Domas, if you were to guess out of the coaches that you named, and we know it's probably between JJ, his buddy, and Ty Lue. If you were to guess right now, who is the head coach for, and you can just pick between those two.
I'd probably pick Ty Lue. I think Ty Lue makes more sense. JJ would be the funner story, but again, if LeBron's really trying to win championships, he needs to get a guy who's been there, done that.
And the whole thing was weird on the front end of this where they almost got Ty Lue.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
Before he went to the Clippers.
Yeah. And I guess there's some weird feelings with Ty Lue and the Lakers from his playing days where he wanted them to extend, I don't know, some business went weird with him and the Lakers when he had played for them. So, yeah, I think that there's weird relationships going on there. But obviously, I think Ty Lue would much rather coach. I would think, actually. I mean, the Clippers situation seems like it's a headache to deal with. Not that, again, LeBron is easier, but I would think he'd prefer the Lakers situation over the Clippers.
All I know is, and this is why when I know I text a lot, but I do like talking to people on the phone. I'm very old school that way because I love to hear the tones of voices.
Very important.
Okay, are you mad at me? Where are we at with this? When Ty Lue, when the Kings were about to play the Clippers and Ty Lue was talking about Kawhi not being able to play, he sounded so annoyed.
He was like, I don't know.
Yeah, I guess it happened.
Idea. Gonna have to ask Kawhi
after the game. I don't know, man. Is it over yet?
Yeah, I don't know. Anybody? No. Okay. Yeah. I don't know. I have no. Yeah. He seems done with that situation, and I can't blame him. Like, I can't imagine what it's like to how do you deal with? Is Kawhi available today? Is Paul? Who do we have? Right?
Yeah.
Who? None of them? How? We have 5 of them. How is none of them playing? I can't imagine. That would be terrible.
James, do you feel like playing today? What's the deal?
Yeah,
or do you feel like working for prop talk?
I mean, it's a whole nother thing to be upset. Like, AD, you're down again.
Right.
You were just tying your shoes.
Yeah, but it's only AD.
That's true.
It's only
LeBron's,
AD.
You better hope that Bronny don't end up, because that's a whole nother layer.
Right.
If Bronny ends up on the Lakers, I feel bad for it. It doesn't matter if it's JJ, it doesn't matter if it's Savannah James. That's going to be a nightmare of a situation to coach a father-son duo.
With all due respect. All right.
No thanks.
When we return, we give Domas a grade, and we hear from you. 916-339-1140. Stiles Watkins, Sacktown Sports.
Did you miss any part of our live local shows? Don't worry, you never have to miss them again. Check out SacktownSports.com and search our podcast page and play our shows when you want. The Carmichael Dave Show with Jason Ross, Stiles and Watkins, and The Drive Guys. Plus, other podcasts like Return of the Empire, Return of the Roar, the Stingers Up podcast, and Golf to Go with Frank LaRosa.
They're all available right now on SacktownSports.com.
Hey, it's Carmichael Dave inviting you to make the switch to electric this spring and save big with American Energy. Stay ahead of those spiking energy bills this summer with up to $9,000 in rebates on a new ultra-high efficiency comfort system. American Energy is providing huge rebates from SMUD as well as spring specials by installing one of many incredibly efficient AC options available to you right now. Get rid of those fluctuating gas bills in the winter and switch to year-round all-electric with American Energy. Let them perform a free in-home energy efficiency analysis and see where they can help you save for the warmer months ahead. These guys are the best. Been serving the greater Sacramento area since 1981. A+ from the Better Business Bureau. Learn more by calling 916-520-9990. That's 916-520-9990.
Call 916-520-9990 now.
Sacktown Sports.
Check us out on YouTube. Search Sacktown Sports and subscribe.
I've got a interesting number for you.
Okay.
Or whatever. It's more of a fact. Or a
Okay.
stat. This is from, again, friend of the show, Law Murray, who covers the Clippers for The Athletic. Law put this out after hearing the Darvin Ham firing. Pat Riley and Phil Jackson are the only Lakers head coaches who have finished a 5th season with the team since the NBA-ABA merger. Isn't that insane?
That's crazy.
So when you pack LeBron on top of the Lakers already, like that's you're lasting 2 to 3 years tops.
Right.
Tops.
It's high risk, high reward.
Kobe's last ring, who was coaching that Lakers team?
His last ring, Phil.
Okay.
Yeah.
So
Phil has all the Kobe rings.
Gotcha. I didn't realize Phil
he had
was
came back.
rocking with them that long.
Yeah. No, he left for a period of time and then came back.
Interesting.
Yeah.
A little bit of meditation.
Yeah.
Yeah. Dealing with Kobe must have been tough.
Not easy for sure. Definitely not easy. But just I mean, to not last 5 seasons for the obviously with that organization, there's tons of pressure.
How long
and
was
tons of
Vogel?
attention?
Do you figure when you win a championship,
2-3 years?
After you win a championship, shouldn't you get 3 years grace after?
I would hope.
Nick Nurse didn't. Doug Peterson in the NFL didn't.
Exactly 3 years. Yeah.
What did Doug was 2 years after the Super Bowl?
Yeah.
Which was kind of shocking for like a passionate city like Philly. Right. I think it was the right move.
Things move fast.
Yeah.
Especially in today's age.
You can't hold on to a coach just because.
Here's a good question.
Vogel was 3 years. Ham was 2.
This brings up multiple things, right? The number of championships you win, does that add on to your leash, right? So for Warrior fans that are annoyed with Steve Kerr, he's got 4 rings, and now we're going into year 3. The last 2 years, no rings.
Uh-huh.
He's won 4 championships, though. So how much longer does Steve Kerr have?
Yeah.
Right? Does he get 4 years because of 4 rings?
Right.
That's a weird position, too, because they lost their GM, who they had the whole time, who wasn't fired.
But this is also connected to Steph. So this is a different situation. If Steph wants Steve Kerr, they're not getting rid of Steve Kerr.
Yeah, because that's the thing. It's either you have because when you won that many times, it becomes the organization can operate in two different paths. Either you're the head coach for the rest of it, however long you want to be the head coach, or we can try and be smart and, actually operate like a team and not be emotional and say, hey, you're not doing it for us anymore. This is the cut line, which would, to your question, I think be maybe 1, maybe 2 more years of failure before it's like, all right, Steve, like it might be time here.
And to bring it back to Coach Mike Brown, I mean, you say stuff like this, and maybe now it doesn't sound so crazy when you just realize how quickly things move in sports and how microwave of a society that sports culture is. Sure. And if you're looking at Mike Brown and cool, you got to the playoffs, you broke, you ended the streak of not making the playoffs. That was 2 seasons ago.
Sure.
Now. This past season, like I always say this about Matt Nagy, and part of the reason I say this is because he went to the same high school as my wife. So I've always said, well, Matt Nagy, he was not the guy who kicked that field goal against the Bears. He wins that playoff game. Mm-hmm. And how different does his life look or his career look if the Bears win that playoff game? But he didn't. He didn't kick it. It's not Mike Brown's fault that Malik and Kevin Huerter got hurt.
Sure.
But if, let's say the same thing happens and they miss the playoffs again, let's say we just weren't able to make any moves.
Sure.
Monty McNair, Allen has to eat the Carolina Reaper.
Yeah.
We weren't able to make any moves. We run it back. It just makes the most sense. Kevin Huerter's got a chip on his shoulder. Harrison Barnes says he's about to ball out. And the same thing happens, and two very important pieces get hurt towards the end of the year. Mike Brown is not getting any grace.
Right. Yeah,
and that's just the way it is.
Yeah.
That's not – I don't think that's my opinion. I think that's just how people will look at it.
Sure.
And Vivek says, we got to make the playoffs.
Yeah, no, my retort would be just because that's the way things are doesn't mean it's the way it has to be.
Yeah.
Like I would argue that just because that's the trend. Hey, look at Frank Vogel. Yeah, he won a championship and then gets fired 2 seasons later. Like, why can't Mike Brown win Coach of the Year and then get fired 2 seasons later? I just think that's how bad. I mean, do you want to be the Lakers? Like, do you want to be in that level of instability? Like, sure, yeah, that's how they've operated, but can the Kings operate in the same way that the Los Angeles Lakers do? No. Because they're completely the way that they have to acquire their players are completely different, and the type of players they can acquire are completely different. So I would just say that it's not all things are created equal. And I think just because the Lakers have found some success by constantly getting a new voice in there doesn't necessarily mean that's what's best for the Kings. If Mike Brown's voice gets tired and the team seems to not be responding to him, that's a completely different conversation. But with how things are going right now, it seems like everybody in that locker room likes him. There's definitely not a Darvin Ham situation where people are sitting on the side of the huddles, or, people are talking behind people's back. And apparently, Malik and Mike Brown, they argue on the floor, but it seems like behind closed doors, it's all love. Anthony Davis and Darvin Ham seems like it's not, I mean, it's not on site, but we ain't seeing each other.
Yeah, we are not.
Like, get that man away from me. So,
right.
That's what I would say the difference is in the Kings and in this Lakers situation.
Not feeling it at all. All right, when we return, we will do our Sabonis grades with Frankie Cartoscelli and Brenden Nunes to kick off our Kings Roundtable on a Friday fun day. Stiles Watkins, Sacktown Sports.
Keegan Murray plays here.
Keegan scores another three-pointer. Keegan Murray knocking it down for 23 points. Match De'Aaron Fox for game scoring honors.
Sacktown Sports is your proud home of the Sacramento Kings.
Kevin Lewis with National Garage Door, reminding you that in Sacramento, National Garage Door is the king of garage doors. We service, sell, and install garage doors and openers. Call us today for your basketball special. A new 16x7 Rainer garage door with insulation and a belt drive opener for only $24.49 installed. Give us a call today, 916-638-4554.
638-4554 National Garage Door.
When you take the time to shop at Folsom Lake Honda, there's one thing you'll always find. Happy people ready to serve you. As a family-owned and operated dealership since 2009, customer service is our #1 priority. Our customers love doing business with us, and you will too.
Looking to own or lease? During the spring sales event, drive a brand new Accord or Civic. Visit us today at FolsomLakeHonda.com, your one-stop Honda shop.
Folsom Lake Honda, your one-stop Honda shop.
Drivers who switch and save with Progressive could save hundreds, which could be life-changing. I mean, you could put that money towards concert tickets for your daughter to see that singer who sings about painful breakups. And one song will inspire your little beauty to break up with that beast she's dating, Brian. Instead, she'll date someone who's nice and worthy of her love, not someone who addresses you and your spouse as bro. And it's all because you could save money switching at Progressive.com. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates, not available in all states.
Lowe's knows pros need the right tools for every job. That's why we sell the largest in-store selection of Klein tools anywhere. Find new items launching exclusively at Lowe's, like the self-leveling laser level for just $159.98. Plus, shop the Connect socket set for just $49.98. Get Klein tools in-store and online today, because Lowe's knows tools. Lowe's knows pros.
Hello, I'm Frank with the Retirement Security Centers with the weekly economic update. The Federal Reserve did as many expected and held interest rates steady for now. Markets are now pricing in only one rate cut in 2024. While wage growth has still outpaced inflation, real growth has only been approximately 0.6%. With rates staying steady, what can consumers do to lessen the burden? They'll have to be proactive versus waiting for automatic decreases. Shopping for lower credit card interest rates or attempting to obtain a lower rate personal loan may be an option for some. Taking the plunge on home ownership now versus waiting with an eye towards refinancing if rates improve at a later date could fit for others. While student loans usually have fixed rates, newer loans are being taken out these higher rates, so payment relief may have to wait until rates reduce and refinancing is an option. Savings rates remain higher with some high-yield savings paying 5.5%, currently outpacing inflation. So the news isn't all bad. Americans may just have to get used to higher rates for the time being and adjust to the now while keeping a watchful eye on the future. How might this affect you or your family? Please go to frankontheradio.com to schedule an appointment, watch videos, and receive market updates. I'm ready to help you start your journey so you can define your future.
Frank Cockrell is a registered representative of Lincoln Financial Advisors Corporation, a broker-dealer and member SIPC and registered investment advisor. Retirement Security Centers is not an affiliate of Lincoln Financial Advisors.
The Arnold Law Firm has seen how an injury can turn anyone's life upside down. Whether it's a slip and fall, a car accident, or any other kind of injury. For almost 50 years, the Arnold Law Firm has been here to help you through the entire process to protect you and your family. If you are ever injured or in an accident, call the Arnold Law Firm. The Arnold Law Firm, providing real justice for you since 1975. Call 916-777-7777. That's 916-777-7777.
Country in the Park is back May 17th and 18th at Cal Expo with Brantley Gilbert, Dustin Lynch, Jay Cohen, Walker Hayes, and more. Tickets start at just $46. Country in the Park May 17th and 18th at Cal Expo. For more information, visit CITPFest.com.
Brought to you by Kids Care Dental and Orthodontics, the Hot Tub Store, and Cattleman's.
Want the best movie experience in town? Join Sacktown Sports IMAX Pass by visiting SacktownSports.com. Sign up today. You can win tickets to see this week's films at the Esquire IMAX Theater.
Sacktown Sports. Call or text at 916-339-1140.
Joined by Frankie Cartoscelli and Brenden Nunes, our Sacktown Sports Kings insiders. Guys, I was telling, I guess this is more for Frankie. Frankie, I was telling all of our listeners and Chris and Nate about our time last night at Sutter Health and how I found my favorite player.
Who's your favorite player?
Ryan Bliss. I was telling.
That's right. It could have been you out there, man.
It should have been.
Was he 5'7"?
5'6" he was listed.
5'6"? Are you 5'6"?
Listed at? Wow.
I mean, no, it's not important. I got a couple on.
He was though. He was a lefty.
He was righty. He was insane.
Right. He was like the anti-Allen, like the reverse Allen.
That's right. Well, yes, because he's still playing. So
I mean, you could. We made like a joke about like Allen's like, what if I catch a fly ball, like a foul ball, and they're like, we can sign him, like we can give him a second chance.
He's got a chance. Frankie, Frankie, give your perspective when he tagged up on that foul ball behind the catchers.
They told the River Cats, like we talked to a couple of River Cats people that were saying like this Tacoma team, like they're aggressive, they like to run, and this guy was just standing on second base after a pop out to the catcher, and there was this group of. Did you talk about that group of like the travel league, like or a high school team or something?
Yeah, they were doing the Yankees roll call for Tacoma, the Rainiers.
So they had a fan, like
a random team.
There was probably like, I mean, for a Thursday night crowd at Sutter Health Park, good amount of people there. I think there was probably like 500-600, maybe 1,000 people there, like spread all over the field. But behind the Rainiers dugout, there was like 20 or so. Maybe high school or
in jerseys
in uniform, and they were like loud, like they were taking over the whole stadium, chanting players' names. And what let us know that player, the other Allen, advanced on the pop out to the catcher behind home plate. They started just going crazy.
Yeah,
like, what is going on? And I haven't seen someone tag up on a pop fly to the catcher in a very long time, but I saw shades of Allen Stiles there too.
from the upside down. That's Allen from the upside down. You know what it reminds me of? Remember those cartoons back in the day where they would run into their crew, but everybody would be slightly different. Like the Rugrats run into their crew, or Hey Arnold, they run into their crew, but everyone's just slightly off. That's Ryan Bliss. Shout out to Ryan Bliss. I will get your jersey.
I think you're the slightly off version.
Oh yeah. I'm Ryan Bliss, just not as talented. That's basically it. All right, guys, let's get into some Kings basketball here. Chris and I, due to the Darvin Ham firing, we have pushed our Sabonis breakdown, and we haven't given our grades yet. So we're going to invite you to be a part of this conversation. And of course, the listeners as well, 916-339-1140. All guests and callers join us from the Folsom Lake Honda hotline. Folsom Lake Honda, your one-stop Honda shop. let's give our grades for Sabonis. We have not given an A yet to anybody. I think we gave Harrison Barnes what?
It was
C's.
in the C grade. I can't remember if it was C or C plus.
Yeah. Vazenkov got a C
Kind,
minus. Okay, well there you go. And yeah, so I think we gave Keegan a B minus.
What
something
did
like that.
Philip Petrusev get?
Yeah, true.
Right.
Deontay Burton, did
he play this year?
He did.
Have you not handed out grades for those players?
Not yet.
Oh my!
Don't think we're gonna have time.
Thought you knew ball.
I thought I did too. And before we get into everything else that we're talking about, all right, let's give Sabonis a grade. What are you guys doing?
I mean,
it's got to be high. It's got to be very high.
Yes.
I don't want to just, hey, guys, back on the show and let's just go ahead and throw out an A, but I don't know how you can give him anything else than an A about all the records and the fact that he averaged 19, 13, and 8. I mean, he was top 5 in rebounds and led the league in rebounds, per game, top 5 in assists. I mean, he's just everything you want. Played all 82 games, just a reliant presence for the Kings. So I know that the defense is still under a microscope and will continue to be a talking point going forward. I think he did show up in that Warriors game. Obviously the Pelicans, I don't know how much weight you want to throw into that game. I think he had a decent game that night too. So I think he showed up when it mattered most and was there every night, and the numbers reflect it. But I think I'll just give him a solid A. I won't go A+, but I'll just give him a flat A.
It's got to be at least, like, if I'm being a stickler, an A- at worst. I feel like, I don't know the numbers off the top of my head, but it's stupid amount of double doubles, led the league in triple doubles, and just was as consistent as it got. I think of the Houston games at the beginning of the year where maybe it wasn't great, but really there's like 4 games you could point out, it feels like all year long, where it's like just Domas didn't have it tonight.
Right.
And if I was nitpicking, it could be like, maybe I would have liked him to be able to score and create his own offense a little bit more when some of those other guys went down, Malik and Kevin. But also those guys not being there, that he runs the most 2-man game with outside of Keegan, makes that more complicated for him. So I think it's understandable why there were some, why it wasn't the easiest for him to create his own offense after the fact. I mean, I think he did everything that you would want from him. And I think that that's worthy of an A-.
Chris?
Yeah, I think I'm going to go with a flat A. I mean, he did just about, he's not a 100% perfect player. Like, he shot 70% from the free throw line and things like that. He had 3.3 turnovers this year. Not a perfect player, but he did everything else about as well as you can do. I feel like this is probably going to be the best statistical year of his career. He only had one season where he scored more points than this. He scored 20.3 points in 2020 for Indiana. I can't imagine he's going to be more asked to score more. He averaged the career high in rebounds, which I said earlier, like 1.5 more rebounds than he did even last year after leading the league. I don't think we're going to see a better Domantas Sabonis than we saw this year. And then the 8.2 assists as well. Like Frankie said, top 5 in assists. That's about as good as you can ask for. And only because he's not a perfect player, I won't give him an A+, but there's really no reason to not give him an A.
Yeah, Curtis in the chat has a good point, I guess, that the turnovers and missed free throws. The turnovers, I think, were obviously inflated, but that comes to the territory when you're trying to play make and facilitate as much as he is. And I know there are a lot of guys in the league that can facilitate and play make without error, but this is a 7-foot or 6'11" center we're talking about that's running the offense. So I'm willing to look past that a little bit and just kind of take more of the fact that he was a reliant presence in the paint and somebody that could, run the offense when De'Aaron Fox was on the bench or out due to injury. So I think that, and also the fact that he's, I think, top 5 in win shares. Like, all the guys that he's beneath are the literal MVP candidates. So the wins didn't reflect that. He's not going to be an MVP finalist. It was not an MVP finalist, but he did everything he wanted to do.
No, and to that turnover point, we gave the number in the first segment. We were talking about Domas. Second in the NBA in touches. Only Nikola Jokic touched the basketball more times than Sabonis did. Naturally, you're going to have some turnovers when that's the case.
The Kings ran the most dribble handoffs in the league by a large margin, and it's just Domas. Like, they play that way because of him. Do you think that part of the conversation should be, where did he get better from last year?
He was a better rebounder this year, which is insane to say.
Consistency
for sure.
Assist numbers went up. I think that, it's kind of surprising that the assist numbers
better 3-point shooter.
with more injuries, the fact that the assist numbers went up and that Keegan's offense regressed a little bit. Kevin was hurt for more than last year. De'Aaron missed some time. I mean, it's still kind of crazy. His assists stayed the same and actually went up. But
I think
defense,
he played really good defense in that Warriors game.
Yeah,
for
he was not a liability at all this year.
Yeah, I'm not sure.
I wouldn't say at all, but not a we need to get this guy. With the exception of the Phoenix game, I think it was.
That's right.
Where Mike Brown took him off the floor. I can't remember a specific time where they had to take Domas off the floor because his defense was so bad.
I'm intrigued what the metrics say about his defense because it feels like it got better. Like the eye test says it got better, but did it? I mean, I don't know. I mean, I think he was among the league leaders in defensive player of the game, crowns. But does that mean that it showed up actually where it matters most? But I don't think it's as much of a problem as it was a year ago. I think we're going into the summer not saying, man, he really was just a complete negative for them. Is he the ideal rim protecting center? No, but I don't think that he's a lost cause by any means.
Well, and those that are more rim protecting, it's push and pull, right? There's not a lot of guys that can do everything. There's some guys that are more rim protecting centers, but they can't do what Domas does offensively or for this offense. So there are not a lot of perfect players out there, even the guys that are dubbed better than Domantas Sabonis. I would say that I'm giving Domas, I'm going to go real detailed here. I'm giving him a 94, which is an A, but is the lowest A before an A minus, because the 93 is an A minus.
Okay.
But he is getting an A.
I'm curious then, because you guys both have what is the minus case?
I mean,
what I understand, not a plus,
because
he
is imperfect. But I did give him an A. He's just closer to an A minus.
You're saying relative
A+.
to the entire NBA.
Yeah.
Okay.
But because of what he is for this team, I'm giving him an A.
Yep.
Yeah, I would say mine is I
just
kind
wasn't
of relative
minus
to expectations. Yeah, I mean, I think that my thing would be that
I don't know how much
this is
more
a guy
you could've
that's
asked.
getting paid max money for his offense. And at one point, when Kevin and Malik go down, this team really cannot score.
Sure.
And it was specifically when De'Aaron came off the floor, you know, and I get they have different skill sets, but ideally a guy that's getting max money because of his offense.
Sure.
And I know that we talked about the defensive rebounding. There's all these other aspects, obviously, could still go create for himself.
Right.
That's all. And I just wish that was there a little bit more. And again, this is obviously me nitpicking here.
Yes.
But that was the only aspect where I'm like, I just wish that got
right.
a little more.
I would just imagine. No.
I know. I was just going to say, when it comes to other duos, De'Aaron Domas was never saying, I got us a 40 burger tonight. I got us a 30, 35 burger tonight. That's not who he is.
I would just feel personally like if I'm taking it back to school and I were a student and I just had the school year that Domantas Sabonis had, I would like to hope that at the end of that year, I got an A.
You did get an A.
You're right.
Yeah.
But he did get an A. He got 94.
You're right. Screw the minus. You're right. It was actually a historic season when it came to numbers.
I never had a minus.
I just want to know what Brendan's grade is going to be when we get to Monty again. I want to know what your
Guys,
grade is going to be.
This is on brand for me, just so we know. I did this last year,
you're
too.
You're a hard grader. You're very hard
grader.
All right. When we return, Brenden has a name that is floating around that I have been high on for a very, very long time. We'll tell you who that is when we return. Stiles and Watkins, Sacktown Sports.
On the move? Got somewhere to be?
Take Sacramento Kings basketball with you. The Sacktown Sports app will let you stay connected to your passion. Never miss a moment of Sacramento Kings basketball with the Sacktown Sports app.
Thinking of remodeling your home? Say goodbye to endless internet searches and visit Subcontractors United. Find a list of 3 pre-qualified and licensed contractors in each home service category. From cabinets to landscapers and everything in between, Subcontractors United makes finding qualified contractors free and easy, with no accounts to set up. Visit subcontractorsunited.com and experience the joy of stress-free home improvement. Save time and money at subcontractorsunited.com.
Hi, it's Brian from Bennett's Restaurants. Springtime is a fun time, so to celebrate, we created a new menu of our favorites from Baja. Plenty of new food. Enjoy grilled skirt steak, wild prawns with pineapple, fresh sea bass, and Sonoran beef enchiladas, to mention a few. Try our empanadas stuffed with carnitas and cheese. Love shrimp? Try the new shrimp tostada. We make great guacamole and salsa too. Enjoy our newest dessert, Kylie's Churros, with a vanilla cream center. Visit Bennett'sRestaurants.com and come enjoy the new Baja menu today. Eat well, stay well.
Were you recently in a car accident? Don't let the insurance companies push you around. Turn to the experts at Gonzalez Law. Our team specializes in car accident cases, wrongful termination, and criminal defense, fighting tirelessly to get you the compensation and justice you deserve. With years of experience and a track record of success, we don't settle for less, and neither should you. Visit SACLegalDefense.com or call 916-304-9187 for a free consultation. Gonzalez Law, your advocate in the fight for justice.
So here's a fact. 85% of the population will suffer from foot pain in their lifetime. That's almost everyone. So you'd think there'd be plenty of healthy long-term remedies, but there just aren't, right? Hi, I'm Dan from the Good Feet store. You know, people come in all the time sharing the same frustrating story. Bought this, tried that, been there, done whatever, all different kinds of things, but all with a similar result. Nothing. A discouraging and endless cycle of disappointment. If this rings a bell, don't despair. There is hope. If you think you've tried everything, you probably haven't tried Good Feet arch supports from the Good Feet store. They're designed to relieve, even eliminate, the pain commonly caused by certain foot conditions like plantar fasciitis, bunions, flat feet, and others. Plus, provide better balance and increased comfort.
Do you have sore feet, an aching back, or plantar fasciitis? Then get to the Good Feet store nearest you for your free arch support fitting. Good Feet arch supports are only available at the Good Feet store.
You know the saying, they don't care how much you know until they know how much you care. Kenny and Jerry here from Bell Brothers. And when it comes to air conditioning tune-ups and repairs, it's true.
Sure, I can tell you how great our techs are, how they're experienced, dedicated, and trained to do the job right the first time. Make no mistake, our techs are great. But the way you'll know they care is in the details.
They show it by arriving on time, in clean trucks, wearing clean uniforms. They're clean cut, friendly, and courteous. They communicate clearly and will give you a price up front, in writing, so there are no surprises.
You'll know they care because they will treat you like they care. And like I said, they're also really good at doing the job right the first time.
Call Bell Brothers today to schedule an $87 precision tune-up. Our number is 916-444-1234 or find us online at thenosurpriseguys.com.
The No Surprise Guys, Bell Brothers.
Maida Chevy saves you $10,000 off MSRP on every new 2024 half-ton Silverado, LT, RST, and LTZ in stock after rebate. Over 50 to choose from.
Exclusive. All in-stock pricing at MaidaChevy.com. Together, let's drive.
See deal for details and 5/15/24.
Our first year as the radio home of the San Francisco 49ers is one we will never forget.
And here's Purdy going to throw one deep, wide for Debo. Made the catch on the back shoulder. Touchdown! San Francisco!
And a back shoulder banger for Debo Samuel.
Congratulations to the 49ers on a terrific year. And thank you for so many wonderful memories. This is Sacktown Sports.
From the 916, why in the bleep don't you try out for the River Cats, Alan? Well, 916, that's not really how it works.
We talked about this.
Frankie's little chuckle there was kind of brutal. It was kind of a shot.
I can't just go out there.
We talked about there are probably like evaluators or scouts that are watching for people in the crowd that will catch the ball. And if you drop it, you're not going to get your chance.
All I want,
Don't
and look,
bring
we
your
do the
gloves
River
right
Cat report. This is funny enough. You know, we have partnerships with the Kings and the River Cats. Before the season's over, this is what we have to do, Frankie. This is great content, by the way.
Okay.
And I'm healing guys. And I this is what I was going to say, Chris, on I told you before. I'm pretty close. I feel like I could hoop tomorrow. I think you're
pushing it.
I don't think
you're pushing it.
Okay, but listen to me.
Let's be honest.
This is
Relax.
a long season for the River Cats. Give me another month. We talk to our connects at the River Cats. One of the days where they're either off or on the road, we partner up, Sacktown Sports, River Cats. We just do some batting practice.
Little BP.
Oh, that'd be great.
We just put it all out there. I guarantee you I'm hitting one out of
like
five.
all of us,
I
or
don't
just
think so.
you? Is
Chris,
that what you're saying?
I think we should get the digital and programming to go out there and see who can, we'll play it. What's it? Base hit, the game base hit.
Chris,
yeah,
I'm getting one out.
Wood bat.
I'm getting one out. Give me a
Frankie,
month.
I'm going to default to you on this.
Give me a month.
How crazy is that of a statement? I'm not.
Give me a
Allen
month.
is like a legitimate player.
I will say I have friends like we played high school ball and like
batting practice.
No, but they could hit one out. Allen played.
No, disrespect.
It's more about the Achilles.
Is Allen out of pocket? And does he say a lot of things? Does he talk a lot of talk? Yes. but do I believe this man played Division I baseball at Temple? So I do think he could hit one out. Yeah.
I think it's really about the Achilles. I'll know more when I take a swing.
Skill-wise, no question, for sure.
I'll know more when I take a swing.
When is the last time you even took,
that's
like,
also
saw live
a thing
pitching
too,
or took
right.
BP?
We went to Scandia.
He went on the fast one, though. The fast pitch.
We went to Scandia about 3 years ago.
It was 55 miles an hour, all right?
Let's see how long, guys. No, hold on, seriously though,
okay?
because we have to do this. Frankie, you know the people that we need to talk to make this happen, guys. They go until September. How about this? August. By August, that's
our luck. It's going to be the one day it rains in August.
3 more months. We'll talk to our guy over there. 3 more months. Hey, can we take some BP? It would be great content.
What if you?
We've been trying to get a media game for the Kings for like years. So the odds that we got to start.
We start here. We got to start here.
I feel like the River Cats would be more open to this than the Kings would be open to a media game.
And yeah, Chris,
they told us flat out no about a media.
Chris,
game.
we have to put something on the line. How many pitches I get? What happens if I do it? What happens if I don't?
I'll give you 15. 10 feels like
15.
A little, yes, yeah.
15 is not a lot.
You said it was just 10.
How long are we supposed to be there?
Oh, okay.
No. How about this? This feels fair. 2 rounds of 20. Everybody gets 2 rounds, 20 pitches.
Okay. You know who's going to surprise in this event? Jason Ross.
Probably.
He's
Adam Sandler to me.
Yeah.
Just a shady good athlete.
Right. Exactly. 100%.
You know what I mean?
We have to get Bobby Jones, who's down there doing work right now. Preparation.
Jay played in the minors. Bobby as well. Jay played.
News to me.
Jay played at University of Texas.
Yeah.
Then played in the minors.
Yeah.
JV baseball, baby. Let's go.
All right, we're doing
ready.
this. You know who we have to talk to. Frankie.
I do.
It's all about improving your game, and that's what 916 is saying about Domas. Domas needs to improve his mid-range game. Is that any reason? Yeah, how would we do that as far as the grading, right? Would you take away from his grade for how he played because he doesn't have one?
I mean, I think that was part of my question of like, where did he get better? And I think that like you guys pointed out some details, but I don't necessarily feel like there was like a trajectory change in his career or anything like that, which is fine. He's a borderline all NBA player. He won it. He was in it last year. Decent chance to make it this year. That's fine. But like, I don't know at what point do we give up on it? Like, hate to be that guy.
I mean, first of all, happy birthday, Domantas Sabonis.
Happy birthday.
We already
but that goes into my, like, he's 28 years old. Like, I think at a certain point, like and again,
I mean, that's not too late.
It's not too late, and players have made adjustments down the line, like in their careers, and he's still a relatively a young player, so there could, but I'm just not fully expecting him to have a 1+ blocks per year, per game season.
Right.
You know, I think that the Kings, their path to like improving that avenue is going and finding someone that can play the 4 and protect the rim and be athletic. I saw the name on the Twitter feed last night again was John Collins, who I'm pretty low on him. I am low on him, so don't. I'm the messenger. I saw it on the Twitter feed last night.
They both had reactions right
they
away.
both
all the radio listeners, Chris and I did not approve.
I'm not on board, but I know that
disgusting.
The idea
stand John
of what?
The idea of a player that was John Collins, an athletic 4 that can shoot threes and block shots is ideal. Chris Duarte could become that player.
I'll do that trade.
Marcus Morris. We're back at it.
Enough.
I'm telling you.
He's a free agent,
but
guys.
there was a name, Brenden, and we finally got around to it. There was a name that you brought up who I've wanted this guy for a very long time, even though he got ejected a couple games ago and the team got eliminated. Brenden, please just tell the good people.
Yeah, so my understanding is that as of this year, because we are in a new CBA, that you now can trade into the MLE and the BAE, which the Kings have access to both, the mid-level exception, which starts around 12.9, and the biannual exception, which I think is about 2 years, 9.7 million. But essentially, you can treat those as TPEs now. And Bobby Portis was a hot name
Traded
on social
player
media.
exception.
Thank you. That is what a TPE is. And Bobby Portis fits into that. I think he makes about 12.5 this year. So technically, you could bring that guy in without giving up any notable assets when it comes to matching salary at very least, and, try to add some forward depth to your roster. Maybe he can function as the backup 5 and also play alongside Domas. I guess there's some interest there. I'm not a huge Bobby Portis guy, but I think that's the idea, is that there are guys in that sort of range that, you're going to have some flexibility here. Not only can you just straight up use the money to go sign a Derek Jones Jr. or Royce O'Neal, whatever, or you can find somebody that salary fits within that and treat it as a TPE, traded player exception.
Why aren't you a big Bobby Portis guy?
It just, he does a little bit of everything, I guess, but also does too much. I don't know. I'm being hypocritical here because I also love Dante DiVincenzo and he fits that exact same description. But I think from bigs and forwards, I look for a little bit more consistency. And I don't feel like Bobby Portis really gives you that. He does consistently give you a level of energy, but when it comes to on-court production, I feel like it's a little
So what you're
iffy.
What you're saying is kind of like a Malik Monk-esque big, because Malik was a guy who can go out there and get you buckets. He had his bad games too, though. I think consistency was a problem for Malik this past year.
For sure.
I think Bobby's kind of a similar way where he can go out there and get you 20 and 10 rebounds, but the other night or 2 nights later it could be 5 and 4. But I don't know. We talked about it for a minute outside in the office bullpen, but I mean, I don't know if Bobby Portis would even be someone that the Bucks would consider to move. I mean, because of the cheap money and how much money they already have on the books with Dame and Middleton and Giannis. It's hard for me to even know what way the Bucks go. They kind of seem like a bit of a mess. But again, a lot of injuries. But Portis seems like a guy they might want to keep around because of that contract.
There's a name out here. I'm just gonna say it, and he's hold on. And he's on the Bucks too, and he's got to be on the cheap. And I am just curious here. Are we sure?
Oh God.
Are we sure Jay Crowder's fully cooked?
Yes.
I mean, he's not playing for them, so he's got to be.
And I got a reaction for John Collins.
I loved Jay Crowder.
I did too. I used to.
Jay Crowder's gonna be cheaper than
I
John
like
Collins.
Jay Crowder a lot in 2021.
If Jay Crowder is filling the Kessler Edwards role, that's fine.
Plays.
I don't want to ask him to do more than that or rely on him to do more than that.
Yeah.
All right.
Not an everyday player.
No, not at this point.
No, I wouldn't say so either.
Loved him on the Celtics.
Been in a lot of different situations. Like his career is pretty. I'm trying to think of another player, like a journeyman that's been on
Like
Jeff Green.
Ish Smith. Yeah, Jeff Green for sure.
Just been on all these
Just about every team.
contenders.
Just not the Kings.
Not the Kings.
Never.
Well, wasn't it Jay Crowder who he wanted out? Didn't he want out of the Suns because he wanted more time?
Yes.
And then went to the Bucks and then never played.
Yep. That's exactly what happened.
At some point, you got to look in the mirror.
All right. Coming up next, we talk about stars so much, but what about improving the bench? And do the guys agree with me on why I feel better about Malik Monk? Stiles Watkins, Sacktown Sports.
Our first year as the radio home of the San Francisco 49ers is one we will never forget.
And here's Purdy going to throw one deep, wide for Debo. Made the catch on the back shoulder. Touchdown! San Francisco!
And a back shoulder banger for Deebo Samuel.
Congratulations to the 49ers on a terrific year. And thank you for so many wonderful memories.
I didn't ask to be thrown in the streets with nowhere to go. I didn't think I'd survive. But I did ask for help, and Covenant House was there for me.
1 in 10 young adults will experience a form of homelessness this year. For these kids who didn't ask to be put in this unthinkable situation, Covenant House is there.
Covenant House helped me break the cycle of homelessness in my family. They gave me the love that I needed.
Over 2,000 young people will sleep safely in a Covenant House bed tonight. When youth who are experiencing homelessness have a hot meal, a safe place to sleep, medical care, and love, they can overcome heartbreaking challenges and have a brighter future.
They just really genuinely just wanted to help me succeed, and I'm succeeding. I'm a speaker, I'm an author. Covenant House really helped me and really helped mold me into the woman I am today.
If you or someone you love is asking for help, go to safeplacetosleep.org today.
Hey there, you in aisle 2. I see you by the fiber and laxatives. You still using those to manage your constipation with belly pain? If your symptoms keep coming back, you may have irritable bowel syndrome with constipation, or IBS-C, so you may need more than over-the-counter treatments to manage it. Ask your doctor about how Linzess can help you get ahead of it.
Linzess linaclotide is a prescription medicine that treats IBS-C in adults. It's not a laxative. It's a once-daily pill that helps you get ahead of your symptoms. It's proven to help you have more frequent and complete bowel movements and helps relieve overall abdominal symptoms, belly pain, discomfort, and bloating. These symptoms were studied in combination, not individually. Do not give Linzess to children less than 2. It may harm them. Do not take Linzess if you have a bowel blockage. Get immediate help if you develop unusual or severe stomach pain, especially with bloody or black stools. The most common side effect is diarrhea, sometimes severe. If it's severe, stop taking Linzess and call your doctor right away. Other side effects include gas, stomach area pain, and swelling. Learn more at linzess.com or call 1-800-LINZESS.
Guys, are you still dealing with loss of energy, poor sleep, weight gain, and even ED? Revive Men's Health Sacramento offers guaranteed low T and ED treatments, and this month only, qualified patients get a free 1-month supply of personalized ED medication, plus a free ED treatment producing immediate results. Availability is limited. Book your free exam and consultation today. Call 916-365-4566. That's 916-365-4566 or visit revivemenshealth.com.
Welcome to the May Springtime Sales Event at Kia of Vacaville. Are you ready for an exceptional automotive journey? We're excited to present to you the pinnacle of automotive excellence, the Kia Telluride. As May unfolds, come explore the remarkable features of the Kia Telluride. Beyond being just a vehicle, it embodies a lifestyle with a seamless blend of sophistication and practicality. The Telluride is ready to elevate your driving experience to extraordinary heights. Whether you're embarking on a family getaway or navigating busy city streets, the Kia Telluride offers unparalleled comfort and innovation. Moreover, with Kia's unwavering commitment to safety and reliability, you can drive with absolute confidence wherever your adventures take you. Don't miss out on this opportunity. Experience the exceptional Kia Telluride firsthand. Visit us today at Kia of Vacaville and take advantage of exclusive offers during the May Springtime Sales Event. Your adventure awaits. Kia of Vacaville, where innovation meets excellence. Model availability, lease options, and features may vary. Please visit Kia of Vacaville for more details.
I lock up my Old Spice Fiji aluminum-free dry spray to keep that 24/7 lasting freshness safe for myself. Fresh coconuts, palm trees in the wind. It's like catching waves in Fiji. Actually, I just talked myself into a refreshing spritz of Fiji. My Old Spice is missing! No!
eBay Motors is here for the ride. Go ahead, feel your engine. Admire that perfectly installed exhaust. Your vehicle's moving along this freeway like it was made from fresh installs and a whole lot of love. With eBay Motors, you get over 122 million parts to keep it running. And with eBay Guaranteed Fit, they'll be the perfect fit every time. Plus, at these prices, well, we're burning rubber, not cash. Keep your ride or die alive at ebaymotors.com. Eligible items only. Exclusions apply.
Do you hear that? That's your air conditioner working overtime this summer. But it's not just the temperature that's rising, so is your electric bill. Stop paying sky-high rates for your electricity with a solar electric system from Aztec Solar. Finally, you can calculate your monthly savings when you go solar without sitting through a 2-hour in-home sales pitch. Visit yourpowersavings.com and Aztec Solar will text you how much you'll save each month by going solar. Since 1980, Aztec Solar has helped thousands of homeowners with solar pool heating, solar electricity, and backup energy storage. Going solar is like getting an extra paycheck every month. How much will your paycheck be? Find out at yourpowersavings.com. Yourpowersavings.com. Looking for a deal today? Now you can own a solar electric system for just $99.95 cash offer after incentives. Act now. This offer expires soon. Aztec Solar. Solar and only solar since 1980.
KHTKAM Sacramento, KYMX HD2 Sacramento. From the Power Business Technology Toshiba Studios, your new home for 49ers football in the 916.
Sacktown Sports.
Sacktown Sports. Check us out on YouTube. Search Sacktown Sports and subscribe.
Still rocking with the Sacktown Sports Kings insiders. Frankie Cartoscelli and Brenden Nunes. As we take you up to 2 p.m. So, Brenden, you said you were out on Bobby, or you weren't fully in on Bobby Portis.
Yeah, I don't love it. I'd probably try to use those assets on something else.
Okay. Fair enough. Fair enough. Well, it's not just about the starters, even though we spend so much time on them. What about improving the bench? Because, guys, I think this is a huge piece of this. Obviously, we want Malik to stay, but there's also a conversation of whether or not Malik's going to start. It feels like Malik does want to start, right? Okay, 17 mil, and you get the keys to Hagen Oaks, to every golf course out here, and that's all fine and dandy. But guys, and who was it? Bill Simmons said that the Kings, this was after the injuries, had the worst 3 through 9 players out of the Western Conference contenders, right? Playoff guys. And specifically just talking about the bench, guys, how do you get this bench better? Because you already have guys that you're essentially stuck with, right? You're stuck with Davion, even though he played better at the end of the season. You're stuck with Sasha. You're stuck with Trey, who you just re-signed. How do you make – is it just about these guys playing better, or should you be looking to improve the bench?
I mean, I think both when you put it that way, but I think that also – I don't think it's a guarantee that all three of those guys will be back next year. I think that any deals the Kings could make would probably go to that. They have their big pieces in Fox, Sabonis, and Murray. I think that it's pretty clear that those guys will not be moved, but everybody else appears to be on the table. And I think that Trey and his $8 million salary, and I think that Sasha, who maybe could use a change of scenery, those could be two moves that wouldn't surprise me.
Sasha?
I just feel like the money and the change of scenery could make sense in a move. You have very high hopes for Sasha.
Why are you so surprised?
Well, he just got here.
Well, Micic, the other European like MVP caliber dude that OKC brought over, they traded him in the middle of the year.
Middle of the year. Yeah. And I'm just saying, as far as it's an NBA offseason, anything goes. And I feel like, is this also indicative of the fact that Malik will be a starter if he comes back, or is Malik still off the bench in this equation?
No, I'm saying he's going to. I'm saying Malik comes back and he's starting now.
Well, I think it kind of comes back to what they have, the MLE, which is I think $12 million to use. So the guys that I'm looking at that are available that you'd want to maybe kick the tires on. I mean, I think Tyus Jones will probably bring in more than $12 million. I think he's someone that's making 14.5 already. Gary Harris is someone that I'm not personally very high on, but someone the Kings could maybe look to if the market is there.
Really want to be this Nuggets
team, I do think that a player like Doug McDermott would be intriguing to me. I think, are you a big Doug McBuckets guy, Chris?
No, I've just spoken to how much it makes sense because he has a really good relationship with Kevin Huerter, and he's talked very highly about Domantas Sabonis before.
Cool. That would make it a little awkward if Kevin's moved in an offseason deal.
Yeah, a little bit.
Other guys that could be intriguing, I think Joe Ingles, is he gonna continue to play? Probably not. He's 36. Alec Burks is on this list, who has been, I think, an impact player everywhere he's played except for Sacramento.
Yep.
Partially his fault, partially not. But
it's like the new Bellinelli.
Look at Marco Bellinelli stats out there. If you're listening to this and you remember Marco Bellinelli on the Kings, I think he's a 38 or 39% three-point shooter for his career. Everywhere else he shot around that mark. Sacramento, he was 30%, his career worst. So that also was I think Pete D'Alessandro pick. But yeah, there are names on here. All I can say, there are certainly names like Robert Covington's on this list. Luke Kennard is in that range. I don't know what's going to happen with Malik Beasley. He's been a starter for the most part with Milwaukee, but that's a player that will be a free agent. So I don't know if there's any players you can kind of say the Kings would sign, and it would be, wow, this is going to be a total game changer. I feel like, and I don't know how you guys feel, but it'd be the trade market. I'm very intrigued. I think there was a report today. I can't remember if it was The Athletic or ESPN saying that with that new CBA, they're expecting like teams and executives and agents are expecting a very busy trade market in the offseason, not as much as free agency. So I'm not sure if that's what you guys think too, but I think that they might find their impact bench pieces via trade than free agency.
I think the way that they get to the next tier is a trade, but the way that you improve within the tier you're already in is some of these depth pieces. Mm-hmm. If it's a MLE or biannual, some of the names that Frankie mentioned, there's Royce O'Neal out there, which we'll see if Phoenix brings him back. There's Torrey Craig. You could try to throw some money at guys in restricted, which does come with complications because they'll wait until the very last minute and you'll have your money locked up. But How much money is Isaac Okoro going to get? How much money is Simone Fontecchio going to get? I love both
This
of
dude
those
is
guys.
Insane about Simone Fontecchio.
I love Simone Fontecchio. I gave him a hot take yesterday for sure. We'll save it for now.
Please holster that.
And backup bigs, there's Alex Len and JaVale McGee are free agents. I think it makes sense to bring Alex back. I thought that he was solid last year, but I think that you want another option there. And there's Mason Plumlee, there's Drew Eubanks, there's Andre Drummond, there's Cody Zeller. Like, I know we're talking about French guys. Again, I don't think this takes you to another tier,
right?
But I think it does improve where you stand within the tier you're already in. It is important. You look at that New Orleans game, the difference between the Golden State and New Orleans game is how much the role players showed up.
Right.
I left one name off that list who I am a big fan of this and think he would be a decent fit here. Minnesota has some salary things they got to figure out too. They have a lot of money. I think they have a crazy amount of salary on the books. Kyle Anderson, making $9 million this year.
Slow-mo.
Imagine all the slow-mo Euros. We'd have just a monopoly on the slow-mo Euros.
Him and HP cannot play together.
But Kyle Anderson and Sabonis on the floor together would be magic. Not Orlando, but magic.
Interesting. Yeah.
You guys have done a lot of digging this week on some of the trade prospects. I think you did a Zach LaVine piece and you did a Jimmy Butler piece. Was there anything in that research that you guys did that sparked your interest or made you feel like it's a better move than maybe you previously thought?
I didn't realize Jimmy Butler shot 40% from three this year, and he shot 35% last year. Now, the 4 years prior to that, he never got above 25%, and that's kind of been a Jimmy thing, right? And throughout his career, there's been years where there are kind of spikes, but never really to this extent. So it interests me, and I think he finished 7th in free throw attempts. The Kings are not very good at getting to the line. And I think there was just a report on the money that he's hoping for in that extension. I think it's like $60 million a year over 2 years, roughly. Oof. And so there would be then 4 years, assuming that if something fell through with Miami and he were to be traded, that would be because he didn't like how extension talks were going. I take that as, well, whatever team would move him would therefore need to give him that extension. So it could be a lot of money, but Keegan has 2 years on a rookie deal. And I do kind of feel like a lot of these guys that I feel like we're going to talk about or fit this conversation, whether it's KD, LaVine, Butler, guys that you're like, they're kind of at the end of their career. I think the logic is that let these guys have larger responsibility while Keegan improves. And then as they slow down, Keegan moves up and you kind of can, play with both timelines at the same time in that way. I feel like
that's the thing. And about the guys that we wrote about, and by the way, we wrote about all these players just because of the fact that you, Chris Watkins, had that list of your big fish list. Make sure you guys check that out on Sacktown Sports. We have all these write-ups.
You don't have to.
No, I got more for you.
You got more of a tank?
Great.
Yeah. Free agents next week.
Let's go. I'm ready. I'm honestly ready for that.
That was already the plan.
Got in my notes.
We need content. Zach LaVine is someone the Kings they've been tied to a lot, but I think that
too much.
The problem with Zach LaVine is, a couple problems. The injury history, which has been more of recent. He was largely healthy for the most part over the past year, a couple years before this season. The money is just way too much. I think he's making $50+ million the next 3 years. And like Brenden was pointing out, and I think we've talked about this season too, ideally that player the Kings would trade for is that 1 to 2 year player that can kind of be, that bridge to Keegan, hopefully taking the next step. And I feel like Zach LaVine, I think I wrote about it in the piece too. I think that's why he'd be not an ideal candidate for the Kings to add $50 million in salary to their already kind of bloated payroll. Brenden Ingram to me is someone that I feel like the Pelicans will try to move this summer. I think that with Herb Jones and Trey Murphy's been coming off the bench, just a guy who's a two-way player. I don't think you can keep bringing him off the bench. And for the amount of money those guys are making combined, it just doesn't really even get close to Brenden Ingram. He's going to be a free agent. I think he costs a lot less in a deal that any of the other guys would cost, those big names, and also an ideal bridge, because if it works out, great, and if it doesn't, the Kings, they get a little money off their books and they're a little flexible come next summer. But I feel like out of those two guys I wrote about, Ingram's a more ideal candidate, and also it helps that you don't have to worry about Brenden Ingram cooking you, because Brenden Ingram has cooked the Kings. It feels like every time they've played, including in the play-in.
Well, the whole Pelicans roster did, right?
Of course.
CJ McCollum and that whole crew. Guys, this is from Lebitard's show, who is, right out of Miami. After they lost to the Celtics, they said, the Butler window just closed. The Celtics just ended the Heat as we know them. So they don't think that Jimmy Butler is going to remain on the Heat. I know Jimmy Butler, and here's the thing we haven't touched on. Jimmy Butler wants to stay in Miami. He said he wants to retire in Miami, and why wouldn't you? But I don't know what happens there. I don't want to pay that much for Jimmy Butler. I'm telling you right now.
It would take a lot, wouldn't it? I mean, it would take. I don't know if the Kings even have the draft capital to pull that off, do they? Because of the.
Well, they do have a lot of draft capital, actually, and I hadn't realized that. Actually, I think at the day of the draft, you also get your 2031 that becomes available to you as well. So I'm pretty sure that they're going to have the 13th pick, and then 25 and 26 will be locked up. So therefore, you could include your 28 and your 30 and 3 swaps and the 13th pick. So we can get to 3 picks right now. And what did I say? 2 swaps, I think.
Yeah.
You can get a lot of picks in there.
So is that what Monty meant when he was telling us, like, there
is flexibility. Well, and I would imagine, and I still have to verify this, but there is also something you could do with, how Atlanta is locked up through 2 years technically, but they're only going to get one of them. I'd imagine there's some finagling you can do to where whatever Atlanta doesn't get, we will give you as well. But they have flexibility. I think the complication is obviously you have to beat out the other offers. And when it's somebody like KD, who I think that KD is the top of my list. And like Mikhail is great too, and may be higher. But like if Malik were to come back and they traded for Kevin Huerter, say it was Harrison Barnes, Kevin Huerter, and Davion Mitchell and a ridiculous amount of picks, right? And then you use your MLE, you go get Mason Plumlee and Derek Jones Jr., and all of a sudden we're talking about De'Aaron Fox, Malik Monk, Keegan Murray, Kevin Durant, Domantas Sabonis, Keon Ellis, Mason Plumlee, Derek Jones Jr., Trey Lyles, like
Colby Jones.
Maybe I'm crazy. Like, I think they're flirting with contending in the West.
Yeah.
But in a KD sort of deal, at what point is it, if Keegan's not on the deal, you're not even getting close,
And I feel like that's going to be the main thing for these teams that have all these players we were talking about, all these players on Chris's list, which I feel like are going to, there's a chance that they could get moved. Keegan's the number one, like, shiny prize from Sacramento. And it's just not going to happen. I mean, at least we believe it's not going to happen. What we've heard and seen and read, it's not going to happen. So we'll see if that's true. But if there's a path to getting someone like that, and like that is an actual realistic possibility, then I think Monty McNair hit send on that.
Well, and Frank and I mentioned it really quick of, Keon has a lot of value too. This might be the most value Keon will ever have. Still very TBD, but it's a good contract.
It's not necessarily about what the Kings can give for Kevin Durant. It's about the other suitors and who can make the best offer. And the Suns, hey, James Jones, they're still looking for somebody to maximize Kevin Durant because apparently nobody has done it yet. When we return, continuing the conversation, what other moves can be made for the Kings to improve, and who do the guys think will win the NBA championship this season? Stiles Watkins, Sacktown Sports.
The only place you'll find Harrison Barnes is Sacktown Sports.
He's got the bucket at the buzzer. Harrison Barnes.
Hey, Sacramento, it's Harrison Barnes, and you're listening to the home of the Sacramento Kings, Sacktown Sports.
Your local sports leader.
When you hear the words, the whole store is on sale, if you're like me, you're thinking, this is worth my attention. Hi, I'm Frank LaRosa with a word or two about Naturewood Home Furnishings. Right now, Naturewood's whole store is on sale during their exceptional home sale. Now your mind is probably doing backflips trying to decide where to start. Would you like to refresh your living room? Would you like to restyle your bedroom? Or maybe you want to redesign your home office. No matter whether it's your dining room, kids' rooms, or accents and accessories, Naturewood's unique store-wide home sale offers savings in every department and savings on every brand like Stickley, Artisan Home, Stanton, Flex Steel, Omnia, and all the rest of our award-winning furniture. When it comes right down to it, it's all about choices and always about quality. Visit Naturewood Home Furnishings right now for this remarkable home sale. Off Highway 50 at Hazel, look for the water wheel.
Sacktown Sports. Call or text at 916-339-1140.
From the 916, bleep them picks. I think that's how most fans feel.
That's dangerous. That's very dangerous.
I think that's how most fans feel.
I'm like half in, half out. I do feel like they're going to have to part with maybe not all of them, but some if they want to make like an actual upgrade.
It's just like if you're trading, especially for Kevin Durant, who's 36, going to be 37 years old, you're trading picks for a team that he's not even going to be on.
That one,
and this is an organization that has more times than not, and that's putting it lightly, is in a bad pick situation or a good pick situation, depending on which way you're looking.
That move on its own, the KD deal, would immediately elevate this Kings to like the team like a 2-year window. Like you have a 2-year window, otherwise like it's
not
done.
worth
it's
it.
done.
And it's a complete failure.
So
I'm struggling with this one because teams are always going to get better. But is there something to be said, almost similar to the Dodgers right now and how they essentially have a super team and other teams are just trying to catch up? Baseball's a little bit different because you never know what can happen. A lot of times you put something together and you got a really good 5 and some pieces, you're going to make some noise. So what I'm struggling with is, and this is going to sound crazy, but you have Sabonis, who just turned 28. You have De'Aaron Fox, who I believe is 26. You have Keegan, who is also young. Teams are always getting better, and you got the Spurs waiting in the wings. The Blazers are going to attempt to be better at some point. These are the 2 bottom feeders.
Memphis is going to be good again. People are forgetting.
Oh, I'm not.
Rockets? Did you say Rockets?
The Rockets as well. But what do you do when the West is so ridiculous? And I don't know what the Warriors and Lakers are going to do, 2 big brands. What do you do when teams are just so hot right now? Do you take a swing for KD knowing that you're in the midst of an infinity war? Or do you say, let's wait it out. Let's see what happens with some of these other teams, right? And and continue to develop who we have and decide when we want to make our move. Because you're right. You're taking a swing to go right now. And honestly, do you think adding Kevin Durant gives you a chance to truly win it right now? That's a question that Vivek and Monty McNair would have to ask himself. If whatever you trade, let's say you're able to keep Keegan. Fine. Just like they did in Golden State. Harrison Barnes, bench or gone. Put in Kevin Durant, you put Malik Monk into the starting lineup, and you essentially have I don't know what else you can do to that bench. Maybe you get one of the guys that we mentioned is add Bobby Portis to the bench. Do you truly think that you are going to have a real swing at this for 2 years?
I think so. I really do.
I don't know. I feel like they're not that. They missed the playoffs by 1 game. They won 46 games. It was a tough West. They have good bone. Like, they have a good structure. Like, they have a good foundation. And I do feel like they're one big move away from being seriously in that conversation. Maybe that's a little bit of tiny bit of bias. I really don't think so though. Like, I feel like I've been so pessimistic that it's more than just that feeling. Like, they do have good guys. They have the flexibility. They have the assets. So maybe not Kevin Durant. Just, I think that's a name we're using a lot. I think just an impact player, like a above average starting player or fringe all-star, I wouldn't say perennial all-star. I feel like that's asking for a lot, but I'm using Ingram as like the benchmark, like a guy who is just a consistent presence and can bring you something that you've missed a lot or lacked. And the Kings have lacked someone that can go get them a bucket when things are going wrong. Like De'Aaron Fox has been all or nothing. If he's not scoring 35-40 or Malik's not scoring 25-30, if they're not both going, or Keegan's not having a good night, the game's over. The Kings have just not had enough firepower. So I feel like the defense is important, but bringing in a guy that isn't going to make you have to spend all of your savings, like spending all of your picks, someone that you can have around for, like we talked about, that can fit that 2-3 year window, 1, 2, 3 years, so that Keegan, his contract doesn't get impacted. I feel like there are players there that you can do that without leveraging your entire future, but it's going to take Monty just making the right move. And I think Monty has been calculated, like you said, waiting. We've seen the Kings wait for 2 years now. They've been waiting for a while. And I do feel like there is pressure for this so-called infinity war. And the way that Monty approached his end of season press conference instilled in me, at least, I think that he is going to do something. He has not given us the same recycled quotes that they're going to be protective of this group and they're going to keep this original Bean team together. No, I think that all bets are off. And outside of Fox, Sabonis, and Murray, we could see any sort of changes happening, including Sasha, including Trey Lyles, Kevin Huerter, all those guys. I feel like the Kings right now are in a position where, like you said, everyone else in the West is on the rise. Even the teams that are in the lottery. Like, everyone's got players to build around and players to be excited about. The Kings do too, though. They're not that far off. They were 1 game out of the playoffs this year, and we'll see what happens. But I think that they have a lot to play with.
And I can't help but think back to when they got Sabonis, and they went a very unexpected path where they said, we'd rather keep all our future fit picks and flexibility and give you this really prized asset. And, I just don't think it's out of the question that we've seen them do it before. If there's a world where including Keegan means that you're not including any picks, I think that's a conversation is all. Obviously they love Keegan, and all the talk is that they don't want to move on from him. Same thing was said about Tyrese. That's all I'm saying. If you could get Jimmy Butler, or let's stick with KD, I guess, and you didn't have to give up any picks, but you had to give up
do
Keegan.
Brenden Ingram.
Yeah, sure. One of them. Yeah. You didn't have to give up any picks, but you had to give up
Keegan, Keon, HB.
Sure.
For Brenden,
would you rather do that, or would you rather do? Sure, we'll go with Brenden Ingram. Would you rather do that, or would you rather do 3-4 picks?
I'd probably rather do picks.
I think so, right?
I would think so.
I think
if you really want to be serious about winning, you can't get rid of too many players.
Probably.
Because you have to still have something. Like we just saw with Phoenix. You can't gut everything and then hope that you get, 3 or 4 bench players to produce.
Yeah.
To Chris's point, I think it's the 3 for me. I think I would do Keegan, Harrison, and a pick and keep Keon instead of doing all 3 players.
I feel like keeping Keegan should be a clear goal this summer and going forward. I mean, was he 22 or just turned 23? And he's an NBA player. He is someone that can be impactful, even if his shot's not working. We've seen what he can do on defense. But the contract and where he is right now for the next 2+ years, that to me is so enticing for a team that is going to be a little strapped for cash for the next couple of years, unless they're going to go over the luxury tax. Because I think that Bobby Marks laid out in that video yesterday that they're 7 or 8 million below the luxury tax, which they haven't hit since 2004. So keeping players like that are controllable and cheap should be a goal. But again, I do feel like that they're going to have to spend. They might have to hit that luxury tax if they really want to truly contend. And that kind of goes back to Vivek and ownership. If they want to put their money where their mouth is and put that product on the floor, they can do what other teams around the West and the NBA have done and go over that line. I mean, anyone can go over any time, but you have to just make the smart move and hope it works out.
I guess to Brendan's bigger point, what do you think Keon's value is? If Keon Ellis were to be traded for a draft pick, is it could you get Keon for 15? Is Keon more of a 20s? Is it a first round pick even? I would think it's a first round pick.
It's probably a late first.
If you get 2 years
or 2 seconds.
A lot of his value is still hypothetical and cemented in the fact that he's such a cheap deal.
Yeah.
It's 1 point something over the next annually over the next 2 years. It might go up to 2 annually or something over these next 2 years. But, getting that sort of production, it's more valuable to teams that are already good.
Yeah.
So I would guess a late first, maybe. But even then, I feel like I might be.
I'm just trying to your point. I'm wondering if maybe the Kings could say, 3 swaps is too many. Could we maybe throw Keon in?
Yeah.
Take one of the swaps out.
Yeah.
Do you think that's of equal value?
I think that it could be. Yeah. I think it could
because Keegan obviously,
and it depends on the team.
Yeah.
That's where this gets complicated. And it's where I think Miami makes some sense.
Exactly.
If you're talking Kevin and HB, that's a team that I think would still want to stay. Relative.
I don't know what Kevin and HB do for Miami.
Spoelstra would love him on the Heat.
I think that they would, play a solid role, and then you really hand the keys over to Bam and Tyler and let those guys and Jaime and these other guys just fill in.
Sure.
And they get to stay relevant. But that's where it's complicated, is that a lot of the guys the Kings are trying to trade, the main pieces of the salary matches, are guys that are supposed to be performing now. And anybody trading away a good player, more often than not, 9 times out of 10, 19 out of 20, whatever, are not trying to get win now players, which, 3-team deals or whatever, but it just adds to the complication.
Brenden Nunes, Frankie Cartoscelli, thank you guys for spending the time as always. Enjoy your weekend, even though you never take any days off. Be sure to check them out, sacktownsports.com. Also on social media, they are doing great work as always. Thank you.
Thank you. And
Thank you.
Looking forward to seeing you get out there at Sutter Health Park. And
we're making it happen.
Hitting it over that, 325?
I looked. It was 325, and the wind wasn't blowing out to right.
We'll make sure the wind's pushing real hard.
If the wind's blowing out to left, we got to reset.
We'll check some weather reports when we get out there.
All right, thanks, guys. We'll talk to you soon. When we return, continuing the conversation, we break down everything the guys had to say, and also who would you want if you couldn't get Malik Monk back? Stiles and Watkins, Sacktown Sports.
Subscribe to Sacktown Sports on YouTube and watch the Carmichael Dave Show with Jason Ross, Stiles and Watkins, and the Drive Guys, live Monday through Friday from 6 to 6. Plus, view archive shows and exclusive content.
Subscribe at youtube.com/Sacktown Sports.
If you're looking for $500,000 to $1 million or more of affordable term life insurance, we're Term Provider, experts in finding affordable term life insurance for those that may not be in perfect health. Prostate cancer, heart conditions, high cholesterol, or on prescription medications, you may still qualify for $500,000 to $1 million or more of affordable term life insurance. Call Term Provider at 800-337-4168. 800-337-4168.
What's the room again?
1240, down at the end.
Ooh, what's that? Sammy, don't touch that. That's someone's old food.
Here we are. Do you have the key?
You have both of ours.
Oh, right. Not working.
Rub it. Come on. Try flipping it over.
Seriously. Why can't we go inside? I'm tired.
Give me yours.
You have mine.
All right.
What?
Please, if you
Dad,
could just...
why aren't you opening the door?
Can everyone just shut the...
Don't go there. Go on a real vacation. Go RVing. Learn more at GoRVing.com.
NBAstore.com, the official online store of the NBA and the world's largest selection of officially licensed NBA fan gear. With unique designs by Fanatics, Nike, and all the latest styles for every NBA team, plus one-of-a-kind products and authentic collectibles. Shop now and get today's special offer. NBAstore.com, a Fanatics experience.
Country in the Park is back May 17th and 18th at Cal Expo with Brantley Gilbert, Dustin Lynch, Jay Cohen, Walker Hayes, and more. Tickets start at just $46. Country in the Park May 17th and 18th at Cal Expo. For more information, visit CITPfest.com.
Brought to you by Kids Care Dental and Orthodontics, the Hot Tub Store, and Cattleman's.
If your passion is bass fishing, only one radio show has the action, information, and excitement of your favorite outdoor sport. Ultimate Bass, hosted by Tournament Bass Pro and California Outdoor Hall of Famer Kip Brown, takes you live to where the fish are biting every Saturday morning. Only Ultimate Bass feeds your passion with the latest news, products, tips, and advice from the pros. Ultimate Bass with Kip Brown, Saturday mornings at 5 a.m. on Sacktown Sports 1140, part of SEP's Saturday Morning Outdoors.
Hey, it's Carmichael Dave for American Energy Heating and Air with a question. Have you recently had a technician diagnose your HVAC system and you were a bit surprised at how much it cost? Or did something seem off about their quote? Because at American Energy, they take pride in giving you honest, straightforward solutions to get that system up and running. Have their qualified technicians come out and give you a free second opinion. It's free. You got nothing to lose but some dollars off of that original quote. They're making the uncomfortable comfortable. They've been doing it since 1981, serving the greater Sacramento area. A+ with the Better Business Bureau. That's why they keep having customers coming back for more and more and more. You can call them and set that appointment at 916-520-9990. That's 916-520-9990 or AmericanEnergyAir.com.
Call 916-520-9990 now.
Golf to Go is brought to you by the Hagen Oaks Golf Super Shop. Here's Frank LaRosa.
Golf Monthly lists 10 things great golfers don't do. They don't arrive at the course with minutes to spare. Get there in time to properly warm up. They don't follow one mistake with another. Take your medicine and move on. They don't lose their cool. Tiger takes 10 steps and the problem is gone from his mind. They don't give up. A bad round can always get better. They don't blame their tools. It wasn't the putter's fault you three-putted. And they don't worry about three-putting. Move to the next hole and try again. Great golfers don't take unnecessary risks. Keep those large numbers off the scorecard. They don't underclub. Weekend golfers think they hit the ball farther than they actually do. They don't always hit the driver. Put the big stick back in the bag when it's not behaving. And finally, great golfers don't hit balls randomly. Have a plan on the range and stick to it. And take that same plan to the course. It's a game. Have some fun out there. That's your Golf to Go. I'm Frank LaRosa.
This segment is brought to you by Aztec Solar. Skip the sales pitch. Calculate your solar savings at yourpowersavings.com.
local.
Live and local. This is Sacktown Sports.
Thank you once again to Brenden Nunes and Frankie Cartoscelli, Sacktown Sports Kings Insiders. As we get back to the nickname, I just think it's funny, guys. And we went pretty hardcore Kings, and it's a fun day Friday. This Yak Harlow thing, it's still cracking me up.
Insane. It's insane.
It's so bad.
Like, and I'm sorry, but did they make it up? Did they actually see it on the internet?
I don't know. It was on NBC Sports Bay Area. First down. Yak.
I would hate
Harlow.
that. I would hate that.
Yeah.
He's not vanilla.
Yeah.
Or he is. I don't. Yeah. Oh. Well.
I think it happened on the radio station because he had never heard it.
Yeah, I'm looking at it here. Yeah.
Can we play the clip or no?
We don't need it.
Okay. I just want to hear his response.
His response.
Yeah.
Trying to see if I can find quotes from his response.
Did you guys have any nicknames?
Nate Dogg.
Yeah.
Actually?
Always. And the funny
Feels
thing
like
about it, growing up, everyone called me Nate. I grew up, my parents were young when they had me, so younger adults around me. Everyone called me Nate Dogg. I'm like, oh, everyone's just on board for this cool nickname. Everyone gave me, how does everyone know this is my nickname? Didn't know until I was like 12 years old. Nate Dogg, R&B legend. So it's embarrassing.
Yeah, well, it's not. I mean, look, no one's ever going to beat Chop Robinson.
Yeah, that's incredible. Especially like when it becomes your first name. Truly.
Let's just go all in here.
Stone Cold Steve Austin is pretty cool.
We have it.
Doc. Magic.
Yeah, but that's different with wrestling.
Magic
because wrestling is built in.
Yeah.
So let's do non-wrestling best nicknames off the top of your head.
Okay.
Magic's
really hard to beat.
Magic is really hard
because
to
that's
beat.
basically his name.
We were talking about Slim Reaper earlier. You know which one I love? The Torture Chamber. Lou Dort.
Sure. Yeah.
That's a great one.
Chris,
no nicknames for you growing up?
C-Watt was it, just because there's Chris's in every sport I've ever played in my life. There was always another Chris.
Were you ever Chris W?
No.
Not in class?
Yeah. No, I don't think so. I think they would just go Watkins. Chris W. Maybe sometimes.
Yeah, because we had three Matts. So it was Matt O, Matt S, Matt
building,
K.
we got like all the Jasons. We used to have a ton of, Joes. We had a couple Joes in the building too. It can be a nightmare. No, you never just a sizzle for you. A-Town.
Well, it was A Styles. Then just my last.
I guess your
Styles.
last name
it's just
like,
built in.
It's such
cool,
It's just built
in.
It's
cool.
I was pretty crazy.
It.
Basically, when I was in second or third grade, I was the Tasmanian Devil on the base pass. So a coach called me
a little mouthy.
Yeah, I know. Well, I'm getting there.
Okay.
So the coach called me Taz. Right, the coach called me Taz. So my
Taz
AOL
Styles is pretty cool.
My AOL, but this is before your time here. A-Taz, it was A-Taz 321 was my AOL. So people call me Taz. I got Taz, I got A Styles, I got A Sizzle.
Taz still works. Like, you got that energy. I can see it. Yeah. It still would have worked for you. Like, if would you have ever considered going full name replace, like a Magic or like a Doc? Like,
no.
Would you have said like, or Chop Robinson? Like, you would have never gone full.
No, I
Taz.
like my first name.
Yeah, it's fine.
Really because of Allen Iverson.
Oh, I guess that's no. Okay.
Even though we were both from I think he was born. Yeah, we were both born in Virginia, and actually, where I was born in Virginia was not far from where Allen Iverson grew up.
Really?
So maybe my parents.
It might have been a hat tip or something.
But he's not old enough. I don't know that he was popping.
That's true, right?
When I was,
Yeah, probably not. Right. He was like 8 years old. Probably not.
So you have Nate. Who else is there? Magic.
I'm having a hard time because like
what's the problem?
Rappers pretty much all go by their, alias.
Yeah, and it feels like, it just
Honey
feels
Badger.
like nicknames in general have kind of gone by the wayside. Like everyone, the Iceman, George Gervin, like, Larry Legend, Like
Big Baby.
LeBron's nickname is LBJ. Like,
Yeah.
You know,
That doesn't even count.
Rowdy Ronda Rousey.
I mean,
was good.
a lot of people call LeBron the king.
King isn't bad.
Big Baby. Glenn Big Baby.
Yeah. Big Baby was great. Big Baby Davy was great. Do you like Steph? The what do they call the
babyface assassin?
Babyface assassin.
But nobody really calls him that.
And
that's
also
that's
like
a mouthful.
Yeah. Megatron was elite.
Oh,
Megatron was great for sure.
God tier.
Megatron was elite. I'm just going. I'm seeing all of them here.
I'm trying to think of like quarterback names or something. Like I don't feel
AK-47,
like
Andre
AK-47.
Kirilenko.
Kenny the Jet.
Kenny the Jet.
That one works pretty well.
Matt Ryan, Matty Ice.
I always liked
It's
that
a great
one.
name, but it never really fit him, especially after he blew the Super Bowl.
Yeah, Matty Ice.
Not really ice in his veins there.
From the, you got the Olympics coming up. Florence Griffith Joyner, FloJo. FloJo was a really great name as well. Big. I mean, why do they have Big Ben Roethlisberger? Why do they have Big Ben on this list?
That's a nickname.
Is it?
Yeah. It's in reference to like the London Big Ben.
Yeah.
You know, like he's big, like that tower is big.
David Jones, Deacon Jones.
Oh, sure. Deacon. Yeah. I actually don't think I knew that Deacon, that was his nickname.
I think that.
And that's how you know. I think you were about to say it. That's how you know it's an elite name.
And now it brings us to the Giants, Buster Posey.
Oh, yeah. Buster's great. What even is his?
It's either Gerard or Gerald.
Because I was going to say the thing, shout out Doc Rivers, but yeah, Doc is Glenn Rivers, and I feel like Glenn Rivers isn't making the league, but Doc Rivers, that guy is having a whole career.
I'll say it, but I don't like it. Black Mamba. I never understood it.
Yeah,
Gerald.
I also think Kobe gave himself that nickname.
Yeah,
I love that. Technically, I gave myself a sizzle.
Of course, you love that.
Technically,
yeah.
Gerald Dempsey Posey III.
Yeah, that guy's not scratching the minors. That guy's not even making it out of A-ball.
Vinny the Microwave Johnson.
That's a great one.
That's a great
Joe
one.
Cool, simple.
Joe Montana. I was like, who's Joe Cool?
Anderson Silva, the Spider.
Yeah, that was
great.
That was great.
Swaggy P.
Yeah.
No P in his name.
Now Swipe of the Fox.
Swipe, but no one calls him Swiper.
He calls himself Swipe. His ats are Swipe of the Fox.
But nobody calls him that.
Like in his now, see that I did have that argument about nicknames.
Ice Tray.
Yeah,
I like Ice Tray. He's just not very.
I got another Jack Harlow-esque one.
Oh Lord,
White Chocolate.
Yeah, that's the one that I think everybody has accepted because it's just that is what it is.
Oh, I didn't know.
Would that even fly these days?
No, I'm so stupid. Tiger Woods' name isn't actually Tiger.
Oh, sure. Eldrick, right.
Yeah.
I'm so dumb.
That's right. Yeah.
916, obviously, Vince Sanity for Vince Carter.
Incredible. Half man, half amazing.
Reggie Jackson, Mr. October.
Oh, sure.
And of course, I mean, we literally just call him Prime now, Deion Sanders Prime Time.
Sure.
Sweetness for Walter Payton.
Yeah.
I don't know if a name has ever fit someone as well as Prime.
Yeah.
Because that dude really is just like about the limelight.
The playmaker, he just got
playmaker
let go from NFL Network, but the playmaker, Michael Irvin. Hakeem, the Dream, Olajuwon.
That's fantastic.
That's a god.
You know who has maybe the worst nickname for how great of a player they were, and it upset me my entire childhood? Adrian Peterson. His nickname was All Day.
Yeah, it felt like they wanted to say AP or something, but then just said All Day.
Yeah. It was like, because he'll give it to you all day. Like he'll just keep running and running and running all day. And it's like,
cool.
It's like off night to me where I'm like,
off night.
Okay. Like I off night is definitely a cooler name, but it just never sat well with me because I don't know. It just seemed like, again, like you said, it's not really something you can call somebody like, what up all day? Like, I don't know.
If only the broadcasters call you that, I'm not counting it as a nickname.
Sure.
And that's where we're at with Off Night and Swipa.
Sure.
It's
don't say that to Draper.
No. I'm just saying I don't count that as a universal nickname. Hey, Draper, they're top 10. I don't want to.
Yeah.
We know they get down.
Top 10. He's not 10.
And this is from Bleacher Report. Number 1.
He was number 10. Yes. Sir.
Irvin Magic Johnson. Number 2, George Herman Babe Ruth.
Oh, sure.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Sure. Yeah.
Broadway Joe Namath.
I don't know.
That feels high.
Being your nickname being Babe is kind of
where's Dr. J on there? Because that's a pretty elite.
It's got to be.
That's elite.
It's it's got to be up there. Number 7, Shoeless Joe Jackson. Dr.
Sure.
J's number 8.
I feel like that should be higher. That should definitely be higher.
It should definitely be higher. Yep. I'm going through Wilt the Stilt.
Wilt the Stilt is great.
Chamberlain. All right. Nate's saying we got to get out of here. And this is a weird one before we take a quick one. Michael, and then they have in parentheses, this is number 16. Michael, in parentheses, Air Jordan.
I would think so. I mean, yeah, it was obviously before my time, but I would assume that.
Did people call him Air Jordan?
I would guess before the shoe. Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, I just wasn't alive, so I can't really.
925 is saying the glove. That was
Dr.
a good
Duncanstein is great. I think that's Daryl Griffin.
530 Big Poppy. 916 Will the Thrill. All right. When we return, Friday Fun Day, some more nicknames. If you have a cool nickname, whether you gave it to yourself or not, like I did, let us know. Also, there are some brothers. One is in the NBA, one was in the NBA. And yeah, we got a problem. Stiles Watkins, Sacktown Sports.
Domantas Sabonis plays here.
He finds Sabonis, put the frosting on the cake, put the cherry on the sundae. Sabonis with a two-hand flush makes it 114-106.
Sacktown Sports is your proud home of the Sacramento Kings.
Hey there, wanted to take a moment of your time so I could talk to you about insecurity. I could talk to you about confidence. I could talk to you about girth. Yeah, what? Girth? Yeah, okay. Let me tell you about the Upsize Clinic at UpsizeMatters.com. My good friend, Dr. Jack, and his friend, Dr. Pash in San Francisco, have a safe, effective, long-lasting doctor-performed procedure. It's non-surgical, virtually pain-free. Now listen, girth is consistently ranked as the most important attribute. What Dr. Jack and Dr. Pash are offering is a free consultation. The procedure can be done on the same day as your consultation and get that confidence back. Reset in the bedroom with your partner. Financing is available. It's very private. It's very discreet. Available in Roseville with Dr. Jack and San Francisco with Dr. Pash at UpsizeMatters.com. That's UpsizeMatters.com.
We just want to have enough money for retirement.
And travel to visit our grandchildren.
I understand. That's why at Fisher Investments, we start by getting to know each other so I can learn about your family, lifestyle, goals, and needs, allowing us to tailor your portfolio.
What about commission-based products?
We don't sell those. We're a fiduciary, obligated to act in your best interest.
So how do your management fees work?
We have a simple management fee based on the value of your portfolio. So we do better when you do better.
We appreciate that kind of transparency.
We also check in with you regularly to keep you up to date on the markets and your portfolio.
Well, what other services do you offer?
As a client, you have access to resources on investing, financial planning, estate planning, Social Security, Medicare, and more.
Wow, sounds like Fisher Investments has everything we need.
At Fisher Investments, we're clearly different. Learn more at FisherInvestments.com.
Investing in securities involves the risk of loss.
$5,000. That's the average amount of money people in the U.S. are now spending on gas in a year. $5,000. That's crazy. If you drive, you have to download Upside, the free app that gives you cash back every time you get gas. That's right. You can earn real cash back with Upside just by buying the gas you're already buying. You can literally start earning cash back today.
I use Upside every time I fill up, and I've already made around $200-$300.
You're putting gas in your car anyway. Why not get real cash back? If you like free money, download Upside.
I'm saving the cash I earn from using Upside to help pay for a vacation later this year.
Download the free Upside app now to earn cash back every time you buy gas. Use promo code HYBRID to get an extra 25 cents per gallon on your first tank. You can cash out anytime right to your bank, PayPal, or a gift card for Amazon and other brands. Just download the free Upside app and use promo code HYBRID for a 25 cents per gallon bonus on your first tank. That's code HYBRID for a 25 cents per gallon bonus.
Jerry and Kenny here from Bell Brothers. And if you've even thought of replacing your old, outdated, inefficient windows, now is the time to take action.
Right now at Bell Brothers, when you buy one window, you'll get the second one for 30% off. That's right. Buy one, get the second one 30% off.
That's real savings, up to $6,000. You have to buy at least 4 windows to qualify, and you can't mix windows and doors. But beyond that, every second window is 30% off.
For example, when you buy 10 windows, you will get 5 windows at 30% off. We also have 0% interest financing available for qualified buyers. Call for details.
To take advantage of our buy one, get one 30% off sale, call Bell Brothers now at 916-444-1234 or find us online at theNoSurpriseGuys.com.
The No Surprise Guys, Bell Brothers.
Want the best movie experience in town? Join Sacktown Sports IMAX Pass by visiting SacktownSports.com. Sign up today. You can win tickets to see this week's films at the Esquire IMAX Theater.
Sacktown Sports.
Check us out on YouTube. Search Sacktown Sports and subscribe.
So this is not a funny thing or funny segment at all, but it does feel like it's getting to the point where we have to at least talk about this. So Michael Porter Jr., who has said some things that have upset people in his own right. He's got a podcast now, but he has 4 brothers, and it is, like we said, this is no laughing matter, but the brothers just continue to just do some of the worst stuff you can come up with.
Yes.
You have one brother who is banned from the NBA, who was recently banned from the NBA for gambling. You have another brother who was arrested for DWI last Friday, and that was just a week after his other brother was sentenced to 6 years in prison for a drunk driving crash that killed a woman in Colorado last year. Chris, like we said, I mean, when it gets to this point, and there's also the human aspect of this with Michael Porter Jr., who is, I mean, we talked about Patrick Mahomes and his pops going down during the NFL playoffs, which is something tough to deal with in its own right.
Yeah.
But this is Michael Porter Jr. It's a huge family. I think there's 7 or 8 of them, and his brothers, every other day, it seems like something is happening. What do you even do in this situation? I mean, there's family pictures. I don't know if the parents are still together. How does something like this even happen?
Bro, I have no idea. This is an absolute mess. Like I've got a lot of thoughts for sure. I won't say them all on air, but this is just a bad look for an entire family. Like, it's crazy to have Jonte in that situation, and then to have his 2 other brothers, who I think were one of them is just out of college, and I think one of them is still in college. So they're still young guys, but to be making the mistake that they made, I mean, 2 DUIs, and like you said, I mean, one of them comes the week of one of the brothers being sentenced to 6 years in prison for it.
Yeah.
Like, that's, I know that family's probably going through a lot or whatever. And who knows, maybe this is it's that kid's way of acting out as a way of expressing something that he can't express. But it's just a terrible optics. And yeah, I kind of, at least from a basketball perspective, and, we have audio that we probably can't get to that, Michael Porter Jr. has been in the news himself for saying some pretty dumb stuff. But I actually kind of feel bad for him just having to deal with all of this in the background as he's trying to make another finals run. And, I just can't imagine, like you said, I mean, I think the Mahomes example is a really good one. Like, we were wondering how this was going to affect him. I can't imagine how it is. So first, the Jonte thing was bad enough. That's in your league.
Right.
Guys asking you questions about it. And, it's kind of an embarrassment. People are probably joking on you and your family and all that stuff. And then to have the much more real life situation that's going on with the other 2 brothers, I would Andrew Wiggins took off time for less, not to disrespect that situation, but I more mean that to say it's actually really impressive that he's even just playing through it. Like, I wouldn't blame him if he said, can I get a game off? Can I get 2 games? Can I get a week? I mean, I would imagine you could let him fly, but just a terrible situation across the board. And I can't imagine, we're talking about Michael Porter Jr. I can't imagine what Michael Porter Sr. and his wife have to do, talking about having to explain away all of this situation. And I don't really know if you can explain this away, the situation. I don't want to come down their road and accuse them of bad parenting or anything, but I think that it's probably fair, and a big question that's probably going to be asked of them of like, what is going on with your sons? Because this is one too many really bad cases here. And I think it's just fair to ask, like, what is going on in that household?
I'm seeing here, and it's so hard to even look up everything because of all of the news that's out there. But from what I'm seeing, it says that he has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. There's 8 of them.
No, there's 8 of them.
There's 8 of them.
5 boys, 3 girls.
Yes, and all of their pictures are in basketball jerseys.
All ball.
Yeah.
Like at a high level.
Yeah.
I think the brother that just got arrested for the DWI, I believe he was at Pepperdine and had just transferred to Missouri or something where Michael and Jonte went. But yeah, they're all ballers. Like they all have stuff going on. I mean, it was clearly a priority in that family for them to hit the basketball floor, and good on them for even getting to that point. But what they've done recently, I mean, is you can't have a worse month really than what they've had. You have Jonte getting into, I mean, I could be wrong here, but if I'm not mistaken, there is only 2 people who have been banned from the NBA permanently. That is Donald Sterling for his situation,
right,
and Jonte Porter. That is the list that he is on.
Yeah.
And then to have his 2 brothers in their situation, like I can't imagine a more embarrassing month.
Rough.
It's just terrible.
Just rough stuff.
And then here I am saying sympathy Michael Porter, but he's done some dumb stuff here recently too. I mean, definitely more off the floor. His on the floor, he's actually been really good. He was great in that series, actually against the Lakers. But he's got some dumb stuff that he was saying about furries. He's talking with, adult film stars on his podcast, leaking, really, really private details about some things which I'm sure are rumors that he heard around the league, like, oh, these guys like this, and I hear these guys are into this and that kind of stuff. Just a terrible, terrible PR. So that family needs to hire a PR firm. Just terrible. I mean, it's horrible.
Brutal stuff, man. Brutal stuff. And yeah, I mean, you can't talk about them without talking about the victims of their actions, right? And the families of the victims as well. It's just, I don't know. I mean, there's nothing the league can do. I know. I'm sure they have a lot of things put in place where, hey, Michael Porter Jr., if you need anything, whatever it is, it is. Look, and when you have, I only have, a couple siblings, right?
One.
Right. So I don't know how it feels to have 7 of them. I don't know how close you can even be with 7.
You're either super close or you're all super apart, I'd imagine.
But you're not going to stop your life. But it's, I guess, the only word I'll use to not put any of this responsibility on Michael Porter Jr. It is a bizarre look for Michael Porter Jr. And I think these clips are recent. Right, with the adult film star, and he's doing the podcast currently while all this stuff is happening, and you're not supposed to stop your life. It's just a weird look in general.
This is now the 3rd conversation also we have had where this player has a podcast. Not saying that like that equals trouble, but it's just like, it's also just highlighting to me something that I just haven't really considered of just truly how many of these fools have freaking podcasts. It's insane. Because Trae Young has a podcast. We obviously talked about Patrick Beverley. We played Draymond's sound from his podcast. That's the part of this where, they want to talk about old media, new media. This is where the new media side has to, it's going to take some shots because you can't have this podcast or have these podcasts, Patrick Beverley, and maybe even to an extent, Michael Porter Jr. You can't have the fun of, oh yeah, we just do this to talk around and we can talk hoops. But then when real life stuff happens, like what's happening with Patrick Beverley and I'm sorry, but what's happening with Michael Porter Jr., you can't dodge this. This is what your platform is for, because you can't claim, oh no, I have a podcast so I can tell my side of the story. I'm not going to have any middleman in it. People twisting my words.
Right.
Well, here's your platform. This is what you wanted when you got a podcast. You need to make sure you follow through on it. So That's also an interesting side story of all.
Or hey, my name's Bennett, I'm not in it. That's not. They can deal with what they have to deal with. I'm looking here, Chris. I'm trying to find, and it's a bit surprising that it's this hard to find. I was just trying to find the number of current NBA players with a podcast, and it's harder to find than you'd think.
Oh, I'm sure that website's coming soon.
It has to, because
it's like a knocked up.
You start ranking them,
you just
right? There's a top 10 player in the NBA, but his podcast is trash. Because what? Doesn't Thanasis have a podcast?
He sure does. He sure does.
Let's just we'll
Jalen Brunson and Josh Hart got one now.
We'll count them up since we can't find anybody writing it out. Maybe we'll write them out ourselves when we return, and also continuing the conversation about the Kings. What can they do to improve? And we have our Kings player breakdown for Alex Len. That's coming up when we get back. Stiles and Watkins, Sacktown Sports.
Trying to find out where to catch your favorite team's games?
Are you a fan of the Kings, Niners, and the NFL? Well, Sacktown Sports has you covered.
Touchdown! San Francisco! It's all on his shoulders. Cox rocks. He fires for the win. He's got the triple.
Catch all your Kings, Niners, and NFL games all year long on Sacktown Sports and SacktownSports.com.
I didn't ask to be thrown in the streets with nowhere to go. I didn't think I'd survive. But I did ask for help, and Covenant House was there for me.
1 in 10 young adults will experience a form of homelessness this year. For these kids who didn't ask to be put in this unthinkable situation, Covenant House is there.
Covenant House helped me break the cycle of homelessness in my family. They gave me the love that I needed.
Over 2,000 young people will sleep safely in a Covenant House bed tonight. When youth who are experiencing homelessness have a hot meal, a safe place to sleep, medical care, and love, they can overcome heartbreaking challenges and have a brighter future.
They just really genuinely just wanted to help me succeed, and I'm succeeding. I'm a speaker, I'm an author. Covenant House really helped me and really helped mold me into the woman I am today.
If you or someone you love is asking for help, go to safeplacetosleep.org today.
Sacramento sports fans, get ready to amp up your summer with the Sacktown Sports live events calendar. We've got an incredible lineup. First up, on May 24th, don't miss Tribal Seas as they bring their reggae beats to Ace of Spades, presented by Live Nation. And mark your calendars for June 8th when NF takes the stage at the Golden One Center. Visit livenation.com for tickets. And don't miss out on the California State Fair summer lineup. On July 15th, experience Queen Nation, a tribute to Queen. Catch Flo Rida on July 23rd, Bush on July 24th, and the ultimate throwback with the 90s Rewind Show on July 29th, featuring Tone Loc, CNC Music Factory, and Digital Underground. Visit CalExpoStateFair.com for tickets and info. Looking ahead to August 4th, get ready for the Outlaw Music Festival at the Toyota Amphitheater, presented by Live Nation. It's a star-studded event. The Sacktown Sports Live Events Calendar, your ultimate playbook for the best shows and events in town. Stay tuned to Sacktown Sports for exclusive updates and your chance to win tickets.
Thanks for calling Discover. This is Gabby.
Hey, Gabby. It's Jennifer Coolidge. Hi. I'm so glad I reached you at 2 a.m.
Oh, of course. Anyone with a Discover card can call and talk to a real person 24/7. Now, how can I help?
Yeah, I used my Discover card to buy these yellow pleather pajamas, and I'm just not sure I'm pulling them off.
24/7 U.S.-based customer service. It pays to Discover. Limitations apply. Learn more at discover.com/credit card.
Hey everyone, it's Ted from Consumer Cellular, the guy in the orange sweater, and this is your wake-up call. If you're paying too much for wireless service, you don't have to keep having that nightmare. Consumer Cellular has the same fast, reliable coverage as the leading carriers for less. And for a limited time, new customers receive their second month free when they sign up and use promo code MONTHFREE by May 31st. So why keep spending more than you have to? Seriously, wake up! And call 1-888-FREEDOM or visit consumercellular.com.
Taxes, fees, and other third-party charges will apply. See website for additional details.
Seems like all this artificial intelligence stuff stirs up the age-old debate of man versus machine. Hi, it's Dan from the Good Feet store, and let me ask you, would you let a robot cut your hair? Would you rely on an app to teach a kid to ride a two-wheeler? Let's face it, some things require the human touch. People come to us seeking a solution to foot, leg, and back pain after trying all kinds of things recommended by in-store machines or website blurbs. An impersonal, generic approach to solving a problem that's unique to you. No wonder they usually don't work. At the Good Feet store, you'll meet with an arch support specialist who will take the time to learn about your needs, your feet, your lifestyle, and then fit you from over 300 models and sizes of arch supports, designed for pain relief, better balance, and more comfort.
Do you have sore feet, an aching back, or plantar fasciitis? Then get to the Good Feet store nearest you for your free arch support fitting. Good Feet arch supports are only available at the Good Feet store.
When you hear the words, the whole store is on sale, if you're like me, you're thinking, this is worth my attention. Hi, I'm Frank LaRosa with a word or two about Naturewood Home Furnishings. Right now, Naturewood's whole store is on sale during their exceptional home sale. Now your mind is probably doing backflips trying to decide where to start. Would you like to refresh your living room? Would you like to restyle your bedroom? Or maybe you want to redesign your home office. No matter whether it's your dining room, kids' rooms, or accents and accessories, Naturewood's unique store-wide home sale offers savings in every department and savings on every brand like Stickley, Artisan Home, Stanton, Flex Steel, Omnia, and all the rest of our award-winning furniture. When it comes right down to it, it's all about choices and always about quality. Visit Naturewood Home Furnishings right now for this remarkable home sale. Off Highway 50 at Hazel, look for the water wheel.
This segment is brought to you by Aztec Solar. Skip the sales pitch. Calculate your solar savings at yourpowersavings.com.
KHTKAM HD1 Sacramento, KYMX HD2 Sacramento. From the Power Business Technology Toshiba Studios.
This is Sacktown Sports.
Sacktown Sports. Call or text at 916-339-1140.
From Nick on the text line. My apologies, but nicknames should be given. You can't give yourself a nickname. Thoughts? Question mark?
I think that's just kind of the universal rule.
Okay, but let me explain to you how A Sizzle came about.
Okay.
All right?
Okay. Nothing. I can assume, but it's fine.
Oh, no, please.
I would assume it was like a rap name.
No, it wasn't.
Really?
It wasn't. What it was this is all around the same time, right? So I'm in 6th, 7th grade, and Allen Iverson was huge.
Mm-hmm.
That's number one. And at the same time, Allen Iverson was huge. And One was huge.
Oh, sure.
And One, the mixtape and the tour, and there was Hot Sauce.
Yep.
So it was actually a really weird time. I wish I was a little bit older just to see because I wasn't really playing pickup basketball. You're, a smidge too young.
Yeah.
But I do realize if there was a weird time, can anybody that was playing pickup basketball during the and one time, were you doing the and one stuff on the court? Because I would do it
like in game.
In game, right?
Yeah,
because,
5-on-5
or was it just seen as, hey, that's not real basketball? Because we were a little younger. I would mess around and do it with my friends. And Hot Sauce was the biggest name.
Yeah.
And Hot Sauce, when the MC, that's still my dream job to be that MC. Oh, baby.
Yeah, you would be sick at that.
I need
you would actually
to
be
do
so
it.
good.
We got to figure that one out. I got a lot. I got to hit a home run. I got to MC. There's just a lot going on. He would say Hot Sauce, and then he would say Hot Sizzle. Oh, baby, Hot Sizzle. And everybody at that time, we need nicknames, right? All these guys got nicknames. Spider, the Professor, all those dudes. So I said Hot Sizzle, A Sizzle. So I just said, when I was doing stuff in my backyard, I just would say A Sizzle. So, and then I would joke about it to my friends, and then they just started doing it. But everybody was doing it at that time.
I would think so. I would think it's like Steph's 3, right? Where it's like there was a period of time where everybody was just pulling from half court.
Yeah.
And that's just because of what the game was. I would assume that, early 2000s,
you had to do it.
Been. It was just
I could lower
people
the
throwing
hoop.
it off people's heads and stuff.
If you had a hoop that you could lower, you were dunking and you were doing the spider and you were hanging your legs over it. I do have a story where one of my and one moves went wrong, though.
Okay.
So basically, there was a move where you would be dribbling between the legs, the ball, and then the ball, you would catch the ball, you would lift one leg up and catch the ball between your foot and your leg. Okay. So you catch it and then you softly slap the defender. And it was and then you drop the ball and keep dribbling.
Sure.
So I'm doing this, A Sizzle is doing this, and I go to I go to do it, and I do it. I'm between the legs. Oh man, you don't even know. I'm about to cook, and I do it, and I catch it correctly, and I go to smack him, and I poke him in the eye, and he's like, ow. We had to stop the game. I'm like, oh my gosh, my bad, man.
Actually have to call an offensive foul.
I didn't mean to poke you in the eye.
I was just trying to slap you.
Yeah, I was just trying to softly slap you.
Lightly.
Just a friendly slap.
I have a kind of similar story. It didn't happen to me, but I saw it happen when I was playing pickup. Oh my God. I thought it was going this direction where, you can figure out pretty easily where it's going to go, but somebody tried to do the off the heezy and the recipient didn't take it too kindly. And the game stopped after that. Let's just say there was no more games played after the guy got the ball bounced off his head.
All the and one stuff is just how you get into fights.
It really is. Well, because that's the thing is like especially when you're playing pickup, look, man, like the last thing we're all just trying to have fun, get a workout. The last thing we're trying to do is get embarrassed. So like if you're just actively out here trying to embarrass people, like you might get hands. Like it's just might happen. Like nobody's here to get
poked in the eye.
Get on an and one mixtape. Like
and we didn't even have camera phones at that. They were just, you couldn't even take video. This was just to go back and tell your friends, yeah, you saw that.
Yeah. I feel like that's like a missed genre too of like, I feel like on my Instagram feed, I used to get tons of videos of like the unassuming white dude ends up killing it at a Harlem court and talks trash.
That guy, I know who
Jack
you're talking
Harlem.
about.
Bro, that man was asking for smoke.
Yeah,
like, that was a whole era of like, hey, bro, you can't guard me. And like, he would talk crazy.
He would.
And then would be like, bro, hey, I'm just trying to play ball. Like, what we doing? Like, it's like, nah, brother. Like, you're going to get pieced.
Wow. Yeah, on the Sack Chat text line, any other and one mixtape fails.
Or just like pickup games gone wrong.
Pickup games gone wrong.
There's
I've seen hands being thrown.
Yeah. I have friends who compete in the league.
I can't imagine.
Form it Rush Park.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah.
Yes, like Citrus Heights area. They're getting kicked out, or they have problems all the time. And it's embarrassing. And it's not just the other team. It's them. They're ridiculous.
Yeah.
And the refs there are like, yeah, dude, I coach high school and middle school and stuff. The adults are way worse.
People are insane about their pickup basketball. It's definitely the most toxic culture out there for sure. I would imagine like maybe pickup flag football. Like I know like a couple sanctioned flag football leagues.
One throw over the middle.
That's what I keep wondering too. Cause I'm like, I know these fools are all a bunch of people who wish like the could have been in the league guys, but this happened, my injury, whatever. And so I know they're going out there every Saturday, Sunday and just like really trying to cook.
Yeah, and that's the thing. It's just the best workout as well, right? That's why I can't get away with it. But obviously,
Well, I was gonna say too. I know, like, it was hitting way too close for home. But I know, like, a lot of times people take it too seriously and then end up injured playing pickup.
But
I was like,
I honestly,
that wasn't your case,
right? And that was the worst part. People thought, oh wow, he must have been really
you were trying to bring a sizzle
back. Not even. So it's just it's tough out here in these streets. All right, let's go to 916-339-1140. Let's go to JR, who wants to be part of the conversation. What's up, JR? What you got for us?
What's up, De La Styles and Wet Blanket? How are you guys?
Oh, how can we forget about those nicknames?
There's some nicknames right there. We are enjoying our Friday. What you got for us?
Well, don't hurt your groin. We all know, Styles, you're a big groin injury guy.
It's serious, JR.
Hey, my only comment, well, first of all, all the time fail. I personally fail at ballparks in local areas, but I don't care. I don't really care. I'm old, and I really could care less of what people think about my fails. I can't even get to first base during a softball game, and I used to play college football, so that's how far I've fallen. I want to talk about Beverley, though, real quick.
Yeah. Sure.
I never did like him, but God, that was awesome yesterday. They made me totally love him.
Why, JR? Why, JR? Why?
That's exactly what you would say, JR.
Oh, I loved it. And I'll tell you, I've sat in some seats, got lucky before, sat right there in the kind of the Kings area. And I'll tell you right now, if I did that to like Draymond, 100% expect him to do it right back at me and fire that ball right back at my head. Yeah. And I'd be like, yes, that's what I want. That's what I paid. That's why I came here.
It's like the Splash song, you know, right?
Thanks for the call, JR. Yeah, I mean, but I don't know. But that's not even – it seems like this person wasn't like JR. This person was just saying the Cancun thing, and Patrick Beverley – unless more comes out.
Yeah.
And Patrick Beverley was just not in the mood.
Yeah. No, I mean, it's definitely – I mean, I guess if you want to take JR's angle, it is like a pretty great story, I guess. You know, it's – you're kind of a D-bag for doing it, but like, you know, if your goal was to, hey, I got to have this moment with Patrick Beverley, like, isn't that dope? Like, you know, I guess there is that angle, but you know, just not a good look.
By the way, Patrick Beverley has been, what is it, for the foreseeable future or for whatever it is? Patrick Beverley is banned from going on any ESPN shows, which is funny because you feel like that could have been a company email. Hey, don't have Patrick Beverley on any shows.
Yeah.
Right?
I would guess. That happens, right?
Yeah, I think making sure that no one goes on any shows.
I'm just wondering why it had to become public.
Yeah.
Because it's just, hey, guys, you could just say, hey, guys, let's not have Patrick Beverley on.
Yeah. And I don't think anyone would have noticed.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying. He probably doesn't even want to go on.
It's not like he's like a super high profile guy, like one of the most important.
Right. And he has his own thing.
Guys
so
on his
it's
team.
Just, I guess they're just saying, hey, you can't disrespect our people. Basically.
That's what I would think. Yeah, that it has more to do with the fact that, he like was straight up trying to disrespect an ESPN employee, a worker, someone who's holding an ESPN microphone.
Right.
And there might, like we said earlier, like it might not even be, he might have taken it a step further because it was ESPN specifically and he works with Barstool. So, you know, for all those reasons and more, and like kind of like Nick was saying there too, it's not like Patrick Beverley's hot in these, you know, like you can finish a program without having Patrick Beverley on your show or without talking about Patrick Beverley. So, yeah, I mean, this is really something. To your point, though, I don't know why it had to become public. This easily could have just been something that was just enacted and we never heard about. But maybe it is to kind of jab Patrick Beverley.
Yeah, and he's just going to say, I don't
care.
And
maybe ESPN is trying to signal to other people, follow suit. Like, hey, we're doing this as a media, but like, you know, come join us in blackballing this guy, essentially.
Yeah, I'm really still conflicted on what type of movement, as the kids say, that Patrick Beverley has. If Bleacher Report or some other national outlet would say, well, we don't want to do that because he brings in the clicks.
Yeah.
And I think somebody on the SAC chat said it best. He brings in the clicks now. How much would he bring in the clicks? Like, I think Draymond will translate, right? He's a champion. He's been around. And there's a level of respect for Draymond. Patrick Beverley could almost come off like a caricature.
Yes.
You know what I mean? And I don't know if you saw this clip from years ago where it actually wasn't that bad of a thing, but there's a kid who's asking Patrick Beverley for his autograph. And Patrick Beverley refuses. He goes, and his pops was right there. The kid's pops was right there. And Patrick Beverley says, what do you say? He either said, say please or say thank you. And I was kind of torn on it because he's not wrong.
Right.
But it was just a weird engagement.
Yeah.
And since then, I feel like and the long story short of it, I think he's even more empowered because of the pod. Because he's getting money for these actions.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Right.
Whatever it is.
From
playing this role.
Yeah.
So, because we know what's the first thing we said when he balled out in whatever game that was with the double-double. Oh, my goodness, he's going to be going crazy on the pod. All right, when we return, some guys just get to business. And that's exactly what Alex Len does. We break down his season and give him a grade when we return. Stiles and Watkins, Sacktown Sports.
Did you miss any part of our live local shows? Don't worry, you never have to miss them again. Check out sacktownsports.com and search our podcast page and play our shows when you want. The Carmichael Dave Show with Jason Ross, Stiles and Watkins, and the Drive Guys. Plus, other podcasts like Return of the Empire, Return of the Roar, the Stingers Up podcast, and Golf to Go with Frank LaRosa.
They're all available right now on SacktownSports.com.
Thinking of remodeling your home? Say goodbye to endless internet searches and visit Subcontractors United. Find a list of 3 pre-qualified and licensed contractors in each home service category. From cabinets to landscapers and everything in between, Subcontractors United makes finding qualified contractors free and easy, with no accounts to set up. Visit subcontractorsunited.com and experience the joy of stress-free home improvement. Save time and money at subcontractorsunited.com.
Country in the Park is back May 17th and 18th at Cal Expo with Brantley Gilbert, Dustin Lynch, Jay Cohen, Walker Hayes, and more. Tickets start at just $46. Country in the Park, May 17th and 18th at Cal Expo. For more information, visit CITPFest.com.
Brought to you by Kids Care Dental and Orthodontics, the Hot Tub Store, and Cattleman's.
Live and local. This is Sacktown Sports.
Alex Len, a guy who just does what he has to do, grabs his lunch pail, doesn't complain. The curious case of his playing time, Chris. It's up, it's down, it's all around. Why don't you give us a breakdown of his 2023-2024 stats compared to last season?
Yeah, the surface level stats actually were incredibly unimpressive. I was very surprised at how low all of these numbers were, just because, again, it felt like Alex had a really big impact this year. Just on face value, 2.5 points per game, 2.7 rebounds per game, 1 assist on 61% from the field. The points per game was up 0.8 points. The rebounds up half a rebound, and the assists up half an assist. He shot 8.5% better from the field this year. He had 14.5 touches per game, which isn't many at all. I think that was 13th on the team. But now I did say the surface level stats aren't very good. I did some digging into some of the advanced numbers, and Alan, some of these advanced numbers are the best in the NBA. Alex Len, and this is players who played a minimum of 42 games, so more than half of the season played.
Okay.
Defensive rating, the individual defensive rating. So when Alex Len was on the court, the Kings defensive rating was 100.8 points per 100 possessions. That is good individually for second in the NBA, the second lowest in the NBA individually. His net rating, so the combined of or the difference, I should say, of your offensive rating and your defensive rating, his net rating was 15.4, number 1 in the NBA amongst players who played, again, over 42 games, which is over half the season. His plus 15.1 per 100 possessions, so his plus minus extrapolated for 100 possessions, so everybody's on an equal playing field, first in the NBA at 15.1. I thought all of those numbers were really, really interesting, especially the defensive rating one to me is the biggest one. The fact that this team obviously has struggled to be a defensive team pretty much their entire run here. And the fact that they have this at center, the second best defensive rating, I think is a sign that to me, and it's something I felt all year, Alex Len should have played more.
Would you consider him a rim protector?
That's a weird one. Cause like, I guess if you were to call him that, like your brain doesn't picture it, but like he is a really big body. Like that dude is huge and definitely disrupts shots. So I would say yes for his role, but like, he's not going to get 2.5 blocks per game if you play him 25 minutes. I wouldn't think.
I feel like,
but he impacts shots.
Right. I feel like you have to call him that based on the defensive metrics. I mean, when he's in there, it does seem like that. But you're right, and that's exactly why they brought JaVale in. Right. They thought JaVale was going to be a rim
protector. Because that's perfect. Because when you think of JaVale, what do you think? Leaper.
Yeah.
Oh, he's getting blocks where he's just coming out of nowhere and just slapping it off the glass. Exactly. Volleyball. When you think of Alex Len, you just think this big dude, right? Like just this big menacing. You probably think of him like an oaf almost, like he's this really 330-pound Shaq-looking dude, but like he's actually in crazy good shape. We forget he's a top 5 pick in the draft. Like there was a lot of athleticism that was there that people got excited about because he was such like a fluid mover with that size. People said, okay, if he can figure some things out, like this could be ridiculous. And so I think you still see some of those traits, like his mobility and his size, show up, and it just kind of looks impressive. And I don't think anybody who doesn't watch Alex Len would get excited about Alex Len joining their team. But we've had him here. This is his second time being on the team, second season in this second stint. Every time he's been on this team, when he plays, everyone's like, those were really good minutes. So he's just a solid, he's figured out his role. Like, again, he was a top 5 pick, obviously a certain level of expectation that comes with that, but he has figured out how to be a productive player in his, I think he played 10 minutes a game this season. So in very, very limited role has figured out how to be impactful.
Who's better, Alex Len or Mason Plumlee?
See, again, and this is one where I would say Mason Plumlee, but that's just off of like my feelings towards just looking at his numbers and like wanting him on the team. But I feel stupid for saying it when I know what Alex provides. And it's probably one of those where the more you see of a guy like Mason Plumlee, you understand, okay, yeah, he's got a lot of holes too, or just as many holes as Alex Len.
Right.
And he's not as big.
Alex Len just doesn't get as many opportunities, I feel like. Yeah. And I don't know where let's say the Kings move off of him. I don't know where he would get more opportunities.
I don't either. You know,
he's just a guy who's just going to just fill the needs. Because you're going to opt
for like a younger guy always, at this point. Like, because I was going to say like the Lakers or something, but like if you're the Lakers and just, again, you don't know Alex Len from any other big dude who walks in, are you going to give Alex Len an opportunity first or Jackson Hayes? You're just going to give Jackson Hayes the opportunity because you say, if he figures it out, like that's a lot more beneficial for us. Alex Len is who he is, or we feel like he is who he is. We can always go to that, which is kind of what I think Mike Brown in a way did this year, where it was like, if there's anything left of JaVale, we want what's left of JaVale. We know Alex is there and we know what he's going to provide if the JaVale thing doesn't work, but let's see if JaVale works out, because if JaVale works out, the ceiling of that, I think, helps the team the most. But when I think Mike Brown eventually realized there's nothing left here, it was no more JaVale and it was all Alex Len. And I think you saw a bit of stability there. It wasn't like Alex Len was changing games or anything like that, but you just didn't feel like, oh my God, Alex Len is out there, let's survive. Like he did a really good job of still being impactful out there, but not really, being super productive at the same time.
We give Alex Len a grade when we return. Stiles and Watkins, Sacktown Sports.
Our first year as the radio home of the San Francisco 49ers is one we will never forget.
They're going to give it. No, it's a play action. Purdy going to roll left, throw for the end zone. Caught by George Kittle. He has the hat trick tonight, a career high. 3 touchdown catches for George. Touchdown, San Francisco.
Congratulations to the 49ers on a terrific year. And thank you for so many wonderful memories.
Capital Casino has been serving the greater Sacramento area in the same convenient downtown location for over 20 years, with plenty of close-by, well-lit parking monitored by security staff and offering the most variety of table games in the region in a safe and friendly environment. Best food, best service, and the best action. That's Capital Casino. For more information on tournaments and gaming, check out their website at capital-casino.com. And please remember to gamble responsibly. 1-800-GAMBLER.
Hi, it's Brian from Bennett's Restaurants. Springtime is a fun time. So to celebrate, we created a new menu of our favorites from Baja. Plenty of new food. Enjoy grilled skirt steak, wild prawns with pineapple, fresh sea bass, and a shrimp tostada with piles of shrimp. Or maybe our fresh empanadas stuffed with carnitas and cheese are more your speed. Enjoy our newest dessert, Kylie's Churros, with a vanilla cream center. Visit Bennett'sRestaurants.com and come enjoy our new Baja menu today. Eat well, stay well.
Guys, this month only, Revive Men's Health Sacramento offers qualified patients a free supply of ED medication, plus a free ED treatment producing immediate results. Book your free exam and consultation today. Call 916-365-4566 or visit revivemenshealth.com.
Want the best movie experience in town? Join Sacktown Sports IMAX Pass by visiting sacktownsports.com. Sign up today. You can win tickets to see this week's films at the Esquire IMAX Theater.
Sacktown Sports. Check us out on YouTube. Search Sacktown Sports and subscribe.
We have a story from the 916. Basically, it is a really bad pickup tackle football story.
Oh, gosh.
What? Yeah.
Pickup tackle. Come on, y'all.
I will just let you, thank you, 916, but I'll let everybody just imagine. You can imagine.
Such a bad idea already, y'all. Like, come on. You can't. I'm not saying it's not fun. It's a great time, but you can't be playing tackle football anymore.
I think one time.
Outside of.
Yeah, I think one time
at the park or something.
We did tackle football for, this might have been 3-4 years ago.
Really?
For maybe more than that. For Turkey Bowl.
Yeah, it's just not a good idea.
That was the last year. After that, we just
people get hurt.
And now I'm done anyway.
And like
I might come back.
I mean, you can speak to it like adult injuries are not the business.
They're not fun because they affect your actual life.
Your actual life.
Yeah.
Like, Alan, you couldn't walk upstairs. Like, you know, if you break your pinky or something, you can't, or your index finger, you can't type at work.
You know what I was thinking about too? Especially just having a baby and you go out to eat or something. I mean, there's some really diabolical people out there and you're walking around with a boot on. Some people see easy target. You know what I mean?
No, I don't think so.
If you are someone who, all I'm saying is if you are someone who participates in illegal activity and you're trying to decide who you want to rob, and you see somebody who looks injured, that's an easy target.
Huh.
So I'm not saying don't go play pickup because if you get hurt, you might get robbed. But I'll tell you this much: when I was on BART with my boot on, I'd never been more scared.
Yeah,
I had a boot on and I had a laptop in my backpack.
Are you saying if you have a visible injury, carry a sword around with you?
I'm just saying you're an easier target.
Carry a katana.
It's like a wounded gazelle.
Yeah,
nunchucks.
Quite literally.
I don't think these robbers have morals. You know what? I want to rob someone who's at full strength.
Yeah. I don't want to pick on someone my own size.
Yeah.
You know,
I'll let you go this time, bro. I want to find somebody who actually is going to put up a fight.
No fear unlocked.
916-339-1140. Well, at least, you know, in the groin injury, no one could tell. This one, I had a boot, so they could easily tell. Shout out to JR. I know he likes bringing up my groin injury. Let's go to AC, who wants to be a part of the conversation. What's up, AC? What you got for us?
Hey, Alan. It's Alan. How you guys doing?
What's up, Alan? We're great.
Hey, I was in Japan for a couple weeks, and I was dying for NBA coverage, and I left right as the Kings were in the play-in. And I'm looking at the brackets for the West.
Uh-huh.
And I know it's crying over spilled milk. It doesn't really matter, but you look at the teams that we could have been playing against. You know, the Pelicans beat us 6 times and then go on to get swept by OKC.
Yep.
You know that the Kings could have won at least a couple games there, right? And then you got Denver. We could have won one more game. Correct me if I'm wrong. We could have won one more regular season game. We could have been the Lakers playing the Nuggets, right? And the Nuggets take care of them 4-1. And then the Suns, even if we had made it to 6, the Suns get swept by Minnesota.
Right.
We could have made a better showing than those teams. That's all I'm saying. It's just kind of a sad way for our season to end.
Yeah, that's a great point, Alan. Thanks for the call, as always. I don't know if they win any of those series, but I'll tell you this much. They definitely win one They definitely win. They definitely do not get swept by the Thunder. I just don't believe that the Kings get swept by the Thunder. I'm not saying they win the series, but I just don't think they get swept. And they definitely don't get swept by the Timberwolves. The only team that I think would have swept the Kings just based on respect for being a champion is the Nuggets. But I think now we ain't going to hang a banner over winning a game in a playoff series. But to Alan's point, yeah, I think they would have put up a better fight against the Timberwolves and the Thunder, but that's just not how it works.
I've heard this a lot, and I just don't necessarily agree with it. Like, I think
they get packed up in 4?
I just don't get, like, where is all this Kings hubris coming from? Like all of a sudden this team, like you people stopped watching them for a couple weeks, and all of a sudden they became the most consistent team and a team that was playing at high level.
Well, there is a level of that.
I just don't understand how these teams were clearly better than the Kings.
Mm-hmm.
Like, they were in better situations. We talk about that. Bill Simmons, like the 3 through 9 of all of these teams were a lot better. How can you see the results that happen? My brain instantly goes, oh, we weren't even better than those guys. So what chance did we stand if these teams didn't even stand a chance?
Mm-hmm.
But it's interesting to me that and AC is not the first person I've heard say that. Or multiple people bring that up that, oh yeah, OKC, we would have made a bigger, had a better fight against them. I just don't know where that comes from. Like, Keegan Murray was probably going to be out game 1. Malik would have came back possibly, but that probably wouldn't have been till game 3, game 4.
Mm-hmm.
I just don't know where the confidence is that they would have shown out better than these teams that proved that they were better than the Kings throughout the year.
Well, my argument is, what are we actually talking about as far as, are you supposed to feel better that they wouldn't have got swept? Because unless somebody is going to say, I think that the Kings would have beat the Timberwolves, which you could agree or disagree with, or I think the Kings would have beat the Thunder, which you could agree or disagree with. I just don't really know how much of a conversation there is to be had that the Kings would have at least won a game. And that goes to,
I'm just saying the outclassed levels.
Yeah, but I'm not saying they would have beat any of these teams. I'm saying if people want to believe that the Kings would have not gotten swept, I could agree that that's the thing when you don't make the playoffs. You can pick whatever you want between the Thunder and the Timberwolves and the Nuggets. Yeah, they would have beat one of them once. We'll never know. I just don't know what to do with that, because if we're still talking about ultimately losing, would you feel better, you, the collective Kings fan,
right?
Because you wouldn't feel better because you wouldn't have seen the Pelicans get swept, because you'd probably be doing the opposite and say, man, the Pelicans probably would have put up a better fight than us. We won one game.
Yeah.
So that's what happens. And I do think, to your point of not watching a team, it's very similar to when you think about, you know what, and Chris Verla's not in here anymore. It's the 90s movie thing, right?
Yes. All 90s movies are better than anything.
It just gets remembered. And then when you actually watch
it,
the movie, you think, oh.
Except for your Christmas movie.
Except for Jiggle All the Way. Right. Oh, that was kind of inappropriate. Oh,
that's a big one.
That was pretty cheaply done.
Yeah.
Oh, Banks from Mighty Ducks is in 2 places at one time, but you don't notice all that in the moment when you're thinking, man, I miss watching Mighty Ducks, right? People are missing watching the Kings.
Yes,
absolutely. And now they're maybe starting to not remember all of the bad times and the bad with the Kings. This team was... But again,
and I could be doing the opposite, right? Like, I could be thinking too much about all the bad times and projecting that.
But I'm right in them. I'm right. I'm to the point where, if you want to say that the Kings probably win a game, maybe 2 against one of those 3 top teams, sure.
I mean,
Does that change our offseason?
Right. No, it doesn't.
No, not at all.
No, not at all. Well, it changes it. Just it adds a week. We would have started our offseason content this week instead.
Yeah,
that's
exactly.
the difference.
Which would have been nice.
It would have been a little bit.
We would have had a lot more left in the chamber. Thanks, Kings.
Thanks.
And thanks, Pelicans. All right, let's give our grades for Alex Len.
Yes.
What are you going to give Alex Len?
This is a weird one too, because it becomes the conversation of like, are we doing it based off of Alex's kind of what? Whatever. I'll give Alex Len whatever. No one likes to explain why you give what grade.
Just give a grade.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I'll give Alex Len C+, but to take I'm going to do a 79.
Okay.
Where it's like it's verging on a B-.
Yes.
But I think I would say from no fault of his own, he was held out for probably longer than he needed to be held out. If he would have played the entire season, I think I say you got a great backup center for 82 games, and you know that is what it is. You paid him $3 million, and you got great backup center play. That's a fantastic ad. But it took him a while to get into the rotation, and ultimately, the numbers are really good. But like I said earlier, I don't know if Alex Len actually changed outcomes of any games. He was great. He was a really good piece, helped them stay afloat, but I can't remember many games. Well, Alex Len randomly had 12 and 8 tonight or something and absolutely dominated his matchup. There's just not many nights. Maybe there was one, but not many are sticking out.
Yeah, I'm probably just going to go ahead and do a similar thing to you. I actually had Alex Len right where you had him. If you're going 79, I'm just going 80.
Yeah.
Right. A B-, a B- at 80. I think that he should have got more. I think he should have got more run. That one game where, he just looked better than Sabonis. He was a better match. That was later in the season too. I don't know if it was against the Clippers or who it was against, but Alex Len, we looked up and it didn't seem like he played that, or it seemed like he played a lot of minutes, and we looked up and he actually didn't. Yeah. But his impact was just insane. So I'm going an 80 right on the nose for Alex Len. We have Shortcake 182 on the Sack Chat talking about the 90s. She goes, as a kid, A Walk to Remember was my jam. Rewatched it as an adult. Wow, that's bad. That was bad.
Space Jam's like that. I rewatched the original Space Jam.
Don't tell me that.
I'm sorry, it's not good. It's not good. The acting, not great. The writing, not great. The animations weren't as perfect as I remember. The Jordan stretching from
I'm sure that's
from
terrible.
the half court didn't look great.
I'm sure that's terrible.
Yeah. Not
look,
that Space Jam.
And I think everybody deserves to miss watching their beloved Kings, but there are some people doing what Chris is doing and only remembering the bad.
Absolutely.
There are some people doing what other fans are doing and only remembering most of the good. And if the good just gets you to maybe putting up a better fight than the Pelicans or the Lakers, then that tells you all you need to know. This team just wasn't very good.
Yeah. No, they just
or
weren't
the
good enough.
Suns. Right?
Yeah. I mean, if anything, the first round should have cemented in that probably anything further than the first round. Like they weren't going to do what everyone was hoping they were going to do and make the second round.
No. And it's, you know what? It's the same argument with it's tough because it's the same argument with a backup QB or somebody that's on the bench, right? Oh, well, this guy's got to be better than the starter. Well, if he was, he wouldn't be on the bench. Oh, this guy's got to be better than whoever. Well, if he was, then he probably would be playing. If the Kings, why do the Kings get the right? And this is what fans do. I'm not policing fandom, but the Kings, when you don't make the playoffs, you have the ability to do this and to create whatever reality you want.
Warrior fans are saying the same thing, right?
Of course.
We would have put a couple games on OKC, right?
Both sides, all the teams that missed the playoffs, right? But you didn't make the playoffs, but now all of a sudden we would have given them a better fight. Well, if the best teams ended up in the situations, and especially the Suns, that might be the most surprising one, because you can say what you want about the Mavericks having a bit of a cupcake schedule to end things, but the Suns, they had an even harder schedule than the Kings to end things, and they were able to hold on to it. So there you have it. When we return, we talk a little bit of Caitlin Clark, also continuing the Kings conversation. And shout-outs and closeouts. I got a shout-out that I want to give to everyone, and I know Nate does as well. Stiles and Watkins, Sacktown Sports.
You never know what you might hear when listening to a Sacramento Kings game.
Out of Keegan, going for another triple. Man, is he feeling it. Keegan, can he do it? Yes, there's number 11, Keegan Murray. Keegan steps back. He just knocked down his 12th three-pointer, the Kings franchise record. He's got 45 points.
Never miss a moment of Sacramento Kings basketball with Sacktown Sports and the Sacktown Sports app.
The Arnold Law Firm has seen how an injury can turn anyone's life upside down. Whether it's a slip and fall, a car accident, or any other kind of injury, for almost 50 years, the Arnold Law Firm has been here to help you through the entire process to protect you and your family. If you are ever injured or in an accident, call the Arnold Law Firm. The Arnold Law Firm, providing real justice for you since 1975. Call 916-777-7777. That's 916-777-7777.
Elevate your golf game at Timber Creek Golf Course in Roseville. Just named to the prestigious Golfer's Choice 2024 Top 25 Public Golf Courses in all of California by Golf Pass, Timber Creek offers an unparalleled experience. Our revamped practice facility features a grass driving range, expanded putting greens, and a chipping area complete with sand traps. Whether you're a pro or just starting your golf journey, Timber Creek is the place to be. Visit us and discover why we're the talk of Sacramento and beyond. Unwind and tee off at Timber Creek Golf Course.
So here's a fact. 85% of the population will suffer from foot pain in their lifetime. That's almost everyone. So you'd think there'd be plenty of healthy long-term remedies, but there just aren't, right? Hi, I'm Dan from the Good Feet store. You know, people come in all the time sharing the same frustrating story. Bought this, tried that, been there, done whatever, all different kinds of things, but all with a similar result. Nothing. A discouraging and endless cycle of disappointment. If this rings a bell, don't despair. There is hope. If you think you've tried everything, you probably haven't tried Good Feet arch supports from the Good Feet store. They're designed to relieve, even eliminate, the pain commonly caused by certain foot conditions like plantar fasciitis, bunions, flat feet, and others. Plus, provide better balance and increased comfort.
Do you have sore feet, an aching back, or plantar fasciitis? Then get to the Good Feet store nearest you for your free arch support fitting. Good Feet arch supports are only available at the Good Feet store.
Are you stressing about your IRS tax problems? Have you received notices from the IRS threatening to garnish your wages, levy your bank accounts, or seize your property? You need an ally. Allies Tax Relief has tax attorneys and enrolled agents that are ready to fight for you. They have saved millions for taxpayers just like you. Allies Tax Relief can help put a stop to IRS collections and, most importantly, negotiate your tax debt. Here's Brenda, a happy client of Allies Tax Relief.
I owed the IRS around $57,000, and they're about to start garnishing my paychecks. I heard a commercial on the radio about Allies Tax Relief, so I thought I'd give them a call. After a day, they were able to at least stop the garnishments, and after a few months of negotiations, I walked away owing the IRS only $301.
If you owe the IRS, call Allies Tax Relief right now for your free consultation. Call 800-230-5174. 800-230-5174. That's 800-230-5174.
Lead generation is one of the most important aspects of any marketing campaign. Let us help you identify your target audience and market your products or services to them. Go to aimyourdigital.com today. aimyourdigital.com.
Sacktown Sports. Call or text at 916-339-1140.
Shout outs and closeouts coming up in a bit. It's been a fun one. Drive Guys right after this. Caitlin Clark plays tonight, and you talk about having motion. Like I said, Chris, as the kids say, Caitlin Clark has motion. Yeah. I mean, the tickets are over $100, and this is preseason?
Crazy.
Preseason?
Wow. Season hasn't even kicked off yet. And they're going to be playing out in front of a sold-out crowds the entire season. And it all starts today. Preseason it kicks off today, and I think game one is either on Monday or Tuesday for the WNBA. 5 o'clock today on the WNBA app. I believe it's free.
And you had something about Caitlin Clark and flying commercial. There was sound there.
So I would highly suggest that everyone go look. You can find it on Twitter. If you just type in like Caitlin Clark Dallas Airport, you should be able to find it. But essentially, the WNBA doesn't have. Actually, they have a weird relationship with charter and commercial flights. Essentially, for the regular season, teams have to still fly commercial. And that was a big question for Caitlin coming into the league, because at Iowa, they fly charter, they fly private. And so you don't have to deal with landing at a gate.
See, I don't know if I knew.
Walk through and all that stuff.
Sorry, not to cut you off. Just
absolutely.
As far as, was that a Caitlin Clark thing or all Big Ten?
I think it's a pretty customary thing for college athletes.
I mean, I didn't, but baseball, mid-major baseball. Yeah. But okay. Yeah. I just wanted to know if it was a Caitlin Clark thing.
No, and I don't know if it was every game was a charter. I'm sure maybe some were
Power
private,
5 conferences.
maybe some were commercial, but for the most part, she flew private planes for the team, and wouldn't have to fly on commercial flights with all of us normal people. And there's a video, like I said, you can go type it up, Caitlin Clark, Dallas Airport, and there's just video of these weirdos. Like, there's no other way of saying these weirdos who are just following her and the team. There's Aaliyah Boston right behind her, just with their phones, just walking next to her like she is an animal or something. Just walking down the Dallas airport. And there's also, there's a reporter who's also filming her. So there's a weirdo who's filming.
It's very
and then
TMZ-esque.
yes, exactly. And so, it's just kind of become a big topic. And I will say the WNBA has implemented, just starting this year, they will allow, or actually all postseason games will be flown private. So it won't be an issue in the postseason, but during the regular season, at least, they will have to fly commercial. And I just thought it was interesting to hear Caitlin's thoughts on all of it. She spoke at the Fever Media Day, I believe it was on Monday, and had this to say when she was asked about the difference between flying private and flying commercial.
Obviously, with this road game to Dallas coming up, just how are you anticipating commercial flights this season?
Yeah, I think it's, it'll definitely be an adjustment, but, it is what it is. I think the CBA is up for renegotiation after this season. We can opt out of it, and certainly the new media rights deal will have a big impact on that too. So at this point of my career and across the WNBA, it is what it is. I'm sure certainly everybody would say that they would love to be flying charter all the time. That's definitely would help a lot of problems, but I think the Fever organization has done a really good job of getting out ahead of things. There's going to be a lot of security traveling with us. There'll be certain plans of, how we're going to navigate going throughout airports and things like that. And, it's not just for us, it's for everybody in the WNBA. So it's not like we're the odd man out here. It's everybody has to navigate it. And I think it's going to, cause some problems, maybe because the popularity of our league is continuing to grow and, having to, navigate travel with that. But at the same time, is, that's a positive thing too. Like, you want people to be excited about our game. So hopefully it changes in the near future. But for now, that's just what it is. And, everybody's dealing with the same thing. So you can't use it as an excuse. And like I said, I think the Fever organization has a really great plan in place to help keep everybody safe and keep things moving along as we're traveling.
So you can tell she's not very happy about it. And, you even hear her as the question's being asked, she's like, yep. Yeah. So it's definitely a thing that's been addressed. And she even mentions the CBA is coming up, and she's definitely going to be able to have some power, right? She's got power in this league. If Caitlin views this as an issue and, really presses this, I think she will have the ability to really make change like this happen. But I just thought it was crazy. I don't think you're the only person who didn't know they fly commercial to these games. And with Caitlin, like she said, the league is getting bigger. All these, Sabrina Ionescu, you have all of the Vegas Aces, Kelsey Plum, you got Asia Wilson, you've got Jackie Young, all these really growing stars flying commercial. it's fine. We see these people in airports occasionally, but it just feels like something that's got to change.
Yeah. And I guess if we were going fair or foul, it's just something that is part of the evolution of the WNBA. And now, for a while they could get away with it, and they can't get away with it anymore. Yeah. That's what I would say. And
they've actually,
it's a good problem to have. Yeah. That's how they should look at this. I don't know how many people, Caitlin Clark is still one of one, but as far as there's the logistical issues, and then there's just the humanistic issues. I don't know how often the humanistic issues were really happening prior to Caitlin Clark.
Sure.
If enter a random team that doesn't have Sabrina Ionescu or Kelsey Plum or whoever, I think people would recognize, oh, that's a WNBA team, but are they following them and making them feel uncomfortable? Maybe, but not as much as Caitlin Clark is going to have to deal with this. So to me, I whether it's fair or foul, I think the WNBA is just understanding, or should understand, this is a good problem. That means we're growing. We got away with this for long enough.
Yeah.
We got to level up.
Yeah. One more note. There's a nice little random side note to this too. The WNBA is actually fined. I think it was 2 years ago. They fined the New York Liberty, I believe, like $500,000 because their owner, Joe Tsai, decided to say, like, it's an actual rule how often they're allowed to fly charter versus commercial. And essentially, Joe Tsai said, no, I'm going to fly my team private the entire year. And they got fined for essentially
but could he still do it?
I think you can still do it. You just get fined.
Weird.
It's very weird.
Because
it's like you're finding the team for essentially going above and beyond. It's like, hey, like, not everybody else can fly private the entire season. So
because their owners don't want to cash out?
Essentially, yeah. I mean, that's really what that's the difference. Joe Tsai literally just said, yeah, I don't care. Yeah, I'll pay for it.
But to be fair, that's what the CBA, that's what was agreed upon.
Yeah.
So now
nothing you can really argue.
There's going to be, when it comes to voting, where the fever is going to fall on this.
There you go. Yeah.
You already know where the Liberty are going to fall on this. So, and like we said, I mean, you had the LA Sparks at the game, and this thing is growing, man. And it's a good thing, but you got to be willing to evolve if you're going to bring new people into the environment. That's just kind
100%.
of how it goes. All right, it is time. Let's get to shout outs and closeouts. Nate, get that music going. And Nate, by the way, from the 916, once again, the music is on point.
Thank you.
Once again, the music is on point.
I try, man.
There you go. From the 916 as well, crushing it. I see Jay laughing back there. Jay, don't laugh at me, man.
Crushing it.
Oh, tell Jay. Oh, Jay can hear me. Jay, we got this home run derby coming up in July. River Cats, Sutter Health.
We'll see.
This dropped today.
We'll see.
There you go. All right. Who wants to start it off?
I'll start it off. Why not? I will shout out. I've got my 10-year reunion. I told you that. I got my 10-year high school reunion. It's technically been 11 years. But
what's the fit going to look like?
Well,
you got to roll up.
Now, definitely going to be suited and booted. Probably going to wear some jeans.
Oh, is that
Probably a
Chris
nice
Watkins
jacket.
from Stiles Watkins?
Yeah,
Yo!
Yeah, I almost didn't show up because I was like, what's the security situation going to be like? But they assured me that, they're going to do their best to try and keep everything to, as chill as possible.
I used to say I wouldn't go to any of my reunions unless I can
People
arrive.
are very adamant against it.
Well, I want to arrive in a helicopter. I want to be that dude. So I guess I'll have to try again for my 50th.
Exactly.
You know what I mean?
It's something to aspire for.
That is cool, though. That'll be a good time.
It'll be interesting for sure.
Yes, I hope you enjoy yourself because you're real in these streets these days. Nate, what you got?
Yeah, I'm just gonna give a shout out. I've been riding bikes a lot lately, as you guys know.
Like real bikes or Peloton?
Bicycles.
Okay.
Bicycles. We've been going on long rides.
That's dope.
One of my best friends fell last week pretty hard.
Okay.
On the bike.
So this is I thought it was you and your significant other.
No, me and my
biker
boys.
boys. Oh,
yeah.
Oh, I don't want to be around
leather
It's a
jacket.
good thing I got my boot off.
I'm turning into someone I don't want to be.
Yeah. You got a black leather jacket.
You got fixies.
I'm just trying to lose weight.
Okay.
Okay, that got real. I'm honestly just not happy with myself.
I'm tired of self-loathing.
We're like 100 feet from the car, and my friend just went down. Thought he pulled his shoulder. I think he might have pulled his shoulder out. Thought he broke his elbow. It was bad. He wouldn't go to the hospital. He's one of those guys who's like, I've been in the hospital in 7 years. I'm like, dude, you got to go. He's all good now, so he avoided a big injury. So shout out to my boy Connor.
Yeah.
All right, well, shout out Connor. Get well soon. That's what we're talking about, these injuries when you become an adult, man. Can't play football.
No. That's
can't
all I was
bike,
thinking of.
Yeah.
Can't play
He
basketball.
was being a little silly, so,
A little silly. We know Connor the silly.
Yeah.
Dave Mira, or what was he trying to do?
Just no hands, and then in the we're parked near a gas station. Gas station, they have little bumps over the manhole covers.
Yeah.
Hit one of those and then fell for what felt like 30 minutes. He's just falling.
Yeah. I never learned how to ride with no hands. I can do the one hand.
Yeah, I
never
don't get that.
No
I never got the pedaling.
People are too
with no
comfortable.
hands.
No,
people will be going down like the middle of the street, no hands, and I'm like, come on, I get like you're comfortable, but that's a little wild to me.
Yeah, I don't really get that either. All right, thank you for listening to Stiles and Watkins. My shout out goes to everybody who sent the fishing tips, even though I probably won't be able to do it because it only rains on Saturdays for the last 3 months. I'm so sick of it, but enjoy your weekend. Thank you, everybody, for listening. Thank you to Brenden, Nunes, and Frankie Cartoscelli. Thank you, Nate, for all the work that you did. Thank you to all the callers, texters, Sack Chat. Until Monday, you have the Drive Guys up next. Until Monday, secure the bag, light the beam.
Can Mike Brown build on last season's